to push them over the line on Cafe, and that is going to be NIP 2-0 on maps. There you go, the kill comes in. He knew exactly where the man was coming from, and that's going to be Team Liquid taking our second map of Chalet. Palu, 1 second left to go. Diffuser goes down in the absolute nick of time, but Moringa, he gets a huge kill, Des! He gets a huge kill! We're going all the way to 5. We're going to find out who really is the best in Brazil. Palu cannot find the kill. Out comes the Nitro. Shot out by Pino. That is the round in 2020. Brazilian hearts were broken, but like a phoenix, NIP rise from the ashes to claim the hammer at the 6th Invitational 2021.
It was one of the best days of my life. I think we can compare that as a Brazilian team winning the World Football Cup.
I think winning the 6th Invitational was the best feeling ever I had.
Was the best moment of my life in the sports scene for sure. I was crying a lot. I was out of control.
We were very sad to lose, but we understood the limits of the team at the time, and we were very proud. But also, it was very nice to see another Brazilian get a title.
After that SI, I think it was a motivated thing to grow as a region and make it through a lot of other tournaments.
At the end of the day, everyone is just friendly. So yeah, we have a very nice relationship.
The friendships run deep and it goes beyond shouting and cheering on stage. You know, all of that is part and parcel of this. It's a respect that is given and earned between these players.
It's an awesome feeling for everyone, you know, not just us. We win for everyone.
Bliss gets sent home in the first best of 3 of today, but there is another one coming your way. MnM up against Fury. Both of these teams fighting for a chance of survival here on the second day of Phase 1. Let's have a look at the bracket to see how exactly we got here, which is something you might be asking yourself. Now, Sandbox won up against Fury, which meant that Fury dropped into that lower bracket, and Falcons had a phenomenal debut at the Copenhagen Major up against MnM, and MnM in that lower bracket, having to fight a best of 3 style to stay and fight for that survival. Now, when we're looking at MnM specifically, we know what they are capable of in these best of 3s, but Fury, they're a force to be reckoned with themselves, so this could go either way. With this best of 3, we will once again have another lovely pair of casters, as we're doing a little bit of a switcheroo. At this point, you guys are pretty much used to it, but before we throw it, we're gonna wait a little longer for them to get ready. Instead, here, we have the teams as well. I'm not sure if you guys can see them behind me, but we're gonna go throw to a break, and when we're back, we'll go to the casters. So that was the little break. We're now back. We have Pengu on the caster desk. Hi, Pengu. I know that Parker is wearing the Harry Potter invisibility cloak.
He is. Parker just like disappeared basically, so I'm taking the reins for this one with you, Jeannie, for the moment being.
Awesome.
At least. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me. It's pretty lonely here on my cube desk. It's a really beautiful desk. It's very shiny. How's your desk looking like? Ah, yeah, there we go. Look, it's like actually like a mirror.
You could totally fit like 1 or 2 people next to you, to be fair, like for future references.
You think?
Yeah, like just get a
Like
player who's-
genie-sized people or like
No,
sized people?
average-sized people, right? Because you're like a little bit shorter. Just like find a player who's walking around, you know, bored, but like join me for this one. And just break
Oh,
it
look,
down.
he took off the invisibility cloak.
There it is.
Oh,
You wanna join us,
wow.
Parker?
Hi, Parker.
No, you can sit down. I mean, please.
Yeah, please take a
Feel free.
seat. Do your thing, guys. Enjoy the cast.
Thank
and,
you so much.
Don't be too biased.
We'll try not to be. Where
am I?
Oh, so we're casting now, Parker. Like you're not. This is not the, you know, the old elder home. You're back at your job. This is where we talk about Siege.
Fabian?
No. Close. Pingu. Right? The other guy? The duo?
I've heard of you before.
Oh, I've heard about you as well.
I've heard about you before. The bit would have been the bit would have been better if I was able to roll in properly, but the cadence.
Oh.
Oh, I know it's a joke that I'm old. I get it.
So
I get it.
we have cast one of these 2 teams earlier today. No, we have MnM
3 hours ago.
Yeah,
3 hours ago. Give or take.
We had the pleasure of watching the MnM Falcons game, which was quite phenomenal, I have to say.
For Falcons.
For Falcons, yeah. MnM had a bit of a struggle, I could say, and kind of dealing with the pressure and the aggression that Falcons were bringing. And I think if Fury, they want to have a good shot at beating MnM, they got to do that same kind of playstyle where they got to be in their face and make things difficult for them.
I'm very curious as to how these teams are going to stack up against each other. We have the map veto ready for you, so we're going to throw that up on the screen for you. And it's a best of 3, Nick.
Yes.
It's not a best of 1, so it's not just one map. Skyscraper, Chalet, and Oregon.
Oh, MnM gets Chalet. I mean, that's a bad sign for Fury. MnM, they're known as like the kings of Chalet. They almost never lose it. They played like 100 times, lost it twice. Pretty good odds there.
I'm excited. I like all 3 of these maps. Oregon is the decider if we get there, or another APAC team might be going home. Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Is it only APAC teams that have gone home so far?
I'm going to go and say yes so far.
Yeah, so far, yes. All 3 teams that have been eliminated so far have been from APAC. But guess what? The teams are ready. We're ready. Are you ready? Because we're gonna go to Skyscraper in its beautiful lavender hue. There it is.
I like it. So, I like this tint, by the way. I just want to put that out there. I'm actually a big fan of keeping the theme colorful and change things up. Now, Skyscraper, a very difficult map to be attacking on, and it's going to be MnM starting on defense and Fury starting on the attacking side. So, the APAC team, they gotta bring the heat from the get-go. You wanna build up these rounds as early as possible, but before we get in there, of course, you got the operator bans in the way. MnM will ban the first attacker, which will be the Monty, the target ban here. APAC as a region, they love to bring this operator. We have seen so much Monty play alone today, and that will not be the case, at least for map number 1 of Skyscraper. Fury, they shall answer back with, what could it be? What could it be?
Dokkaebi. Ooh.
An operator whose presence has really shined the last couple of months.
Would you say shone? Really shone? Like shine.
Shine through, you know? Like
No.
No?
No, you wouldn't say that?
You wouldn't say shine, shone?
I asked if you would.
I would say either
Not
or.
me. I asked if you would.
I would say either or. She has shined. Yeah, I'll go with shined.
I mean, I think it's improper for me to ask you questions about pronunciation because you're not a native. You're not a native English
I'm the
speaker.
foreign guy, you know. I should be asking you these questions.
You're the foreign guy. We're literally in your own country.
Yeah, but they would not speak the English language here, my friend.
True.
You know, one day I can try and do this in Danish, but we wouldn't get very far together because you wouldn't understand a single word. Actually,
is correct.
you know one word, technically 2. That's your favorite place to meet up with people.
Say
That
it.
is, no, you say it.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Kongens Nytorp.
Yeah, Kongens Nytorp. Yeah, it's actually
it's
not...
a metro stop.
Yeah, it's a metro. Yeah, that, you see, you know something.
That's all I know. Last 2 operators banned, by the way, were Valkyrie and Solus.
Okay.
No Solus. Azami's presence will likely be very high. This was an operator that we discussed in our matchup, and most of the talent have discussed as well, most of the casters, and has been talked about by people on Twitter, too.
Yes.
About how often she shows up. And the person who tweeted that was?
Fresh on desk, aka Jackie Boy, who is not here until phase 2, 3? Is it 2 or 3? I actually don't know when he's getting here. two, I'm being told. There we go.
I have no idea when they showed up either, because I'm not them and I don't deal with their schedules.
Exactly.
So
I was like, I actually don't know when they're gonna be here.
I don't know.
Phase 2, yeah.
Either way. Starting off with Skyscraper, and what is a very early Karaoke and T defense has extended all the way over to Office. Not that much of a surprise. Will we see the presence below remain? That's the question.
Yeah, it really is a matter on Skyscraper. You want to spread across and below if possible. Just kind of equalize things down, get as much map control as possible, make it hard for the attackers to enter the building, and that's going to be the case. We see both the Asami and the Aruni just punching out this wall with both lines of sight and a small peak hole as well below it. Of course, the Ying being brought out from Fury early on to kind of initiate an engagement or an execute later in the round with Finger to kind of help with any chip damage that might come their way.
I like that that's become a term that we use more often now.
Yeah.
Chip damage.
Chip damage. Slowly get chipped away. You step into the Capcan trap, you take a bit of goo mine damage, toxic babes, etc. Something that takes away a bit, but it keeps you alive. I9 also formerly known as Napew previously.
Yep.
He underwent a name change about 6 months ago.
Formerly from Elevate.
Yep, correct.
Pretty badass tattoos, I gotta say.
Yes, big fan of that. Candela went out early, but nothing really came with it. No meaning execute, no engagement, no gunfight being taken. It's gonna be Ying on that Karaoke window repel. Island doing some critical damage from below and clears the barbed wires of Fury. Setting up for a the barbed wire did not get cleared actually. He can punch it out though, it's fine. Dark on this on this door, right? Let's deal with the deployable shield, but they do just that. It's gonna be smoke on the back stairs, all alone with no help in sight. Somebody please help Nave. Oh, he's dead.
Oh, goodbye, Nave. Dark finds kill number 1, still at the top of backstairs, and look at that. A clear view into the Karaoke component of this map. Nothing standing in his way. Tyrant fat fingering an impact nade, but good enough still to get the kill on the I9 as Dark picks up a second. Uses with another Dark with the third, still posted up in this spot. Candela down below will need to get back to the bomb site as it's just up to him and use this. Candela's going off. Nobody right now to take advantage of that. The Ying of Lycola still on the window as Yuza swings the wrong way, and down he goes. Nello now in a 1v3, and guess who got a 4K to start this off? It's Dark.
Dark with a great opening. I mean, both getting the utility damage, some of the grenades, getting 4 kills, and of course, the control there from Fury just from the very beginning to the very end from all fronts. Phenomenal stuff from them. MnM didn't look very comfortable at any point in the map. I mean, you see Nave here in the back stairs. He has no help to be had. Dark almost gets the flick as well, and then he just plays it smart. He lays down on the ground, changes the position around, and he just finds kill after kill after kill. And MnM could not find a way back into that round. It didn't have any utility. Nobody playing downstairs, so no verticality was had from them, and that just made things a little bit too easy for Fury. Oh, said, please, fist bump me.
Some of the issues that were very present for MnM in their matchup against Falcons earlier, which was a lack of confidence on their defenses, still seem to be there. And one thing the Falcons did quite well on their attacks were taking advantage of the areas in which MnM simply weren't looking.
Yep.
I mean, how do you have somebody posted up on backstairs for an entire minute and a half of the round? And it seems like MnM are continuously surprised by the fact that he was there.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, when you're playing multiple games in a day with a big break in between being like 3 to 4 hours, it can be hard to kind of, you go in, you lock it into like fully gamer mode. And then you gotta come out of it, have a break, study for your next opponent, have some food, etc. Maybe to take a quick nap, I don't know, and then get back into it. It might take a round or 2 or 3 for both these teams to fully get into it, but this is also a best of 3 series, so there is time to have to kind of warm up again, if you will. But you are correct, Parker. MnM, some of the issues that were shown in their early game against Falcon also showed through in this first opening round against Fury as well.
All right, well, different bomb site this time. Focus is elsewhere, over towards Office. Already one piece of that hard destruction used up, and it looks like Solotov has an idea for a run out.
No?
Maybe not. He hears the Ana, and nope. Nope. I guess thinking better of it. No, they're gonna fall off. You don't want to gamble his life away. The exothermic charge that got the single panel at the top of stairs has now been plugged with the Kiba barrier. Last exothermic charge will go off on Geisha Wall.
Yeah.
And every single door on the entire map has been barricaded.
I mean, again, MnM just kind of, sacrificing map control, not really wanting to fight for these areas of the map, and it might cost them because, again, Fury making really quick pace through the map right now on the roam clear. Like Cole is on the thermite, already spent both exothermic charges. He's now a free gun as well with 3 flashbangs, so now Fury can really enable all 5 members at once to fight these few individuals of MnM on the front line. They're gonna have one paper stone on a dragon statue area. They're gonna play off the mirror nose near the bomb site itself. If Dark can get downstairs with those grenades in pocket, that could be one of the easy ways for Fury to break this apart. Those vertical kills with the grenades can really open things up for them. There is, however, one member from MnM roaming downstairs. Now, I don't think they know this just yet. No drones has shown themselves in this area yet. It's Tyrant, and he gets the kill. Great shot onto Dark. That's the star play from the first round, immediately shut down.
Tyrant doesn't seem to know it, but it looked like there was a silhouette of another player nearby outside. He's fending off all these drones now and could potentially get another. Surrounding him, trying to flush him out. 4 players, the 4 remaining players from Fury are all looking in the same area. Zolotov's been called back in for backup, just missing out on some shots he should have hit as both players from MnM go down. That leaves just the 3 remaining on the site.
But time, 30 seconds. I mean, you can play a 3-4 just fine in this position. You got a C4 in Pinelo's pocket as well, and you gotta walk up a staircase now. I9 even faced off with this Keeper Barrier is gonna slow things down even further.
I9 sees the Keeper Barrier, there it'll go, 15 seconds left, and well, unfortunately for Fury, it looks like their advance has been cut right in as the guns from MnM are hitting their marks. They've lost Nello, and it comes down just to Nafe to try and clutch this one, which he looks to be able to do, as long as he can hold on I9. The pre-fire works out, MnM bounces back in the second round.
And it's looking a little bit shaky, but there, Nafe, he just sticks to it and takes the fight. He thought maybe run down the staircase, play down the clock, but it's too risky. He knew the pre-fire, he had the information, of course, the clock being so low, with only 2 seconds left. He knew that the members of Fury, they had to come swinging for him. They could not get down the plan successfully. You see the replays here as well. Tyrant is sneaking downstairs, doesn't get droned out. That's a huge mistake from Fury. And sure, they traded back, actually in favor, 2-1 in terms of trade, but the bomb side in control of the defending team. They have those mirror windows. There's no easy way in. Here comes a meat grinder. Nello holding on as well with the C4 kill and the injure to really tie things up for them.
It's a good bit of bounce back there for MnM. But honestly, the time for Fury was the huge issue. And the one compliment that we paid Fury in that very first round was their ability to exploit MnM's unawareness, their lack of awareness. MnM certainly seemed aware that time. I mean, you got bogged down trying to flush out the one player that was roaming down below. That was Tyrant. Yeah. And then the 2 immediate picks from Fury were excellent. They kept Solotov off of the stairs. You take care of Tyrant playing down below. You then need to immediately pivot because you don't have a ton of time left. And at that point, if you don't have time left and you don't have drones, you're going to be engaging just one-on-one, and it did not work out in their favor. They didn't have access to the diffuser, that's why you saw I9 going for that very final pick.
I mean, it's worth noting that before Tyrant got the opening kill from MnM, Fury had a really good pace. I mean, they had 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock. They thought they had full downstairs control, but because Tyrant went unnoticed, he really messed things up for them. It's about time, utility, and of course, manpower. And they killed Dark, who has those 2 frag grenades in pockets, so Iana doesn't find any value in that regard whatsoever. Now, Fury always looking at the same approach, right? They want to attack downstairs and up, but this time they got a trick up their sleeve. They got I9 on the Blitz. Now, Blitz and Skyscraper, not very common, but Munty's banned, so it might be a substitute, and they get the opening kill from Dark as well.
Solotov has been so risky with some of these plays. Not exactly the smartest move there from I9, by the way, but he's immediately traded out, and guess where Dark is? Well, he's on backstairs, just as he was before. Same bomb site, same position, and 2 kills from Dark so far. 6 kills when attacking Karaoke and T.
7. It's too easy for him. I mean, if he follows I9 might die in the goofy way like he just did. It's still worth it because Dark is alive, they get map control, and they actually are storming down the bomb site walls right now. Similar charges going out. They have a member on that Karaoke repel on Sophia. They can basically just walk in and start planting in the next 20 seconds with ease.
Colas on the window. He's got the long cross. The same thing that seemed to doom MnM before was how much of this bomb site was carved right open. BG Man on the board this round. Down goes Nello. All hunting for the final kill, and it's Crit J to get it. Fury, 2-1.
I mean, I think this is what they just gotta keep doing going forward. Just have someone walk in as a main entry, die, have Dark behind that primary entry as a secondary entry, and let them get 3 kills for the price of 1. It's a really worthy trade for them. Again, they get backstairs control, Nave on the smoke he dies, they found sorts of a Warden. I mean, the Warden and Smoke are the 2 most important operators for this defense. It's how you can see through smokes and flashbangs, and it's your toxic base to stall for time, and of course, the plan itself. Now the thing is, when Fury they attack the T bomb site, Hierarchy T, things they go very smooth for them. They got things figured out, they got a very simple plan, and the plan works both times. However, that was a different story for Office, and now MnM will kind of change things up, not give them another attempt at T just yet. They're gonna go downstairs instead of that barbecue kitchen bomb site, where once again, verticality really is the name of the game. As a defending team, they're gonna go up 1 floor, play around that geisha area, T karaoke, almost like the previous bomb site. We even see here in Drum an extension with the deployable shield. So MnM doing a really good job at actually being proactive across the entire map, something they were kind of missing in their last 2 previous bomb site attempts.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Well, it might not be that upstairs bomb site any longer, Nick, but there's still quite an extensive amount of interest as MnM are now going to go down to that kitchen and barbecue. God, I love barbecue so much. So hungry. So hungry. Could eat barbecue right now. Sorry, it rips up emotions.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Parker's diabetic, so he's like struggling with the food sometimes. I'm sorry, Parker.
Carbs can be your friend. They provide energy. Or, in my case, they cruelly taunt me.
Yeah.
Either way, obviously this focus again is going to be upstairs. This Geisha wall, and holding Geisha in general is a very critical part of just about every single bomb site on this map. The only one where I don't think it's a requirement would be if you saw a team defending over in that bedroom side of the map, but that bomb site is so infrequently played, it's hard for us to say with any certainty whether or not Geisha will be important. It seems very brisk now that Fury has been able to clear out most of this top floor.
Yeah, it's also a bit surprising to me that MnM, they don't opt to go for the Bandit to like deny the Geisha breach further, because now they're fighting front to back. They're gonna have Geisha all opened up, that's gonna be behind them, and then in the front you see this, I9 and Dark, they're about to hit these areas, the drum area, the dragon area, etc. What's next when Skyscraper disappears? Well, Karaoke T above the bomb site again. So MnM, they swing out for a bit of contact, and they get it. They don't get the kill at first, but on the second swing around, so little does fight like Colas, that's Thermite off the board. But remember, Thermite already beats the walls open up, he was just a free gun, it's not a huge loss in this specific case for Fury. They still got 4 more members nearby that can get the job done.
Like Colas yet to get on the board as well, so not just one player down, but no kills to be had. Yeah, you double up with that hard breach. Every single X-Kairos as well, still in the launcher of I9. This is something else.
Not the shotgun.
All right, well. M870 lined up, close range. Nice solid pump shotgun. The Uzi that she uses is so good. I don't know, I mean, I understand the strategy behind it. You have to taunt them and see how close you can get. I9 not used any of his, oh, there it is. Not used any of his hard breach, but he's still fragging out quite well. It's just up to Crit J. Last one standing. All of Fury has been decimated at this point. And, well, there's just a lot of angles inside a kitchen for Crit J to look at. 5 kills, quietly assembling, a very good performance.
What? No! He just...
Wow, you can even see it himself. An unbelievable shot, but time is going to run out on Crit J.
Oh my god.
Maybe not before Tyron has something to say about it. MnM answer back, tying things up 2-2.
What a ridiculous shot. And also that bomb side defense from MnM, it just shows beautifully why verticality is so important in Siege. I mean, they can hold the bomb side from above, they recognize it. Crit J was inside the site, but again, A, didn't have the diffuser, and second, even if he did, there's just no way he can get that diffuser down successfully whatsoever. Disgusting shot, however, in the 1v3. Unfortunately, it's an impactless kill, but it makes for a great montage clip, pretty much. Oh, let's see it. Let's see all of it.
Give me it.
first
That's
miss.
the first kill.
We'll see all of it.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, yep. And that is actually insane. Through the beams. Like, there's not even a lot of, like, his head you can even see.
You might not believe in a higher power. You might. I don't really care, but either way, sometimes he or she or they, if you believe there's multiple, or even just the universe, sometimes it just wants you to die. And there's nothing you can do because
10 seconds remaining.
there's just no way that happens. So,
No.
but
That would have been a phenomenal way to end a round if that was like a 1 versus 1 kind of clutch, right? It's such an unfortunate case that it's like a 1v3 and like it doesn't matter in like the grand scheme of things, but still, what a delight to see. Now bomb separation, of course, so just keep going from MnM. It's tied up 2-2. A little bit concerning for the defending team of MnM if you're only gonna get 2 or 3 rounds on the half. Typically on Skyscraper, we are looking at a 4-2 expected outcome in favor of the defending team. Now, of course, some teams are better at attacking or defending or the matchup or whichever, but generally speaking, you are supposed to do really quite well on the defensive side. Cheeky trick there. You go close to a runic gate to make it go off the wall to allow the impact trick, then you walk back away and it's activated. Lycolis gets a peek hole in from that single breach, but no entry
stuck
point.
on the rock. I don't know if we saw that.
I didn't see it.
He's having some difficulties. There's a minor skill issue there.
Oh.
Skill issue of getting off of the rock.
Oh my god.
BG Man now on repel. The Lion will get caught in the crosshairs of Solitov, but not enough damage is done to take care of one of the players of Fury. It's actually like Lycolis who takes the damage. Both in very similar positions. Solitov in a bit of trouble. They managed to get away through that to rotate into drum. But now they've forfeited Geisha. Fury can be quick to the punch if they drone this out and realize that they've got more map control than maybe they assume.
You see this, I mean, they have a very clear plan. Don't fight for the ground right now, don't die for it. Just kill a couple of drones, stall for time, then fall back 1 room at a time. Even beautiful use of the keeper barriers from users to allow swords to fall back all the way towards the bomb side. And again, just utilizing the various layers of this defense. Now MnM, they started very far out. Now in the mid sector, right? This dragon statue area where Nave is going to be playing, crucial for them to hold on to. It's going to be very difficult for Fury to pick it apart, but they need to at least try because it's such a crucial area of the map. A minute to go. Decision-making time. Last Selma going out. EMP to follow as well to ensure that wall gets opened up. Impact trick again. No actual entry points, just the doorways.
Everybody's still alive at this point, and other than that early bit of action on a Lycolis, no damage has been done. Just as I say that, BG Man starts the killing. Nello having an extremely bad day so far. That's not obviously going to help his team, but he sure is far from the only underperformer on MnM. Down goes Lycolis, the remainder found through the hands of the DMR of Nafe. MnM are posted up, watching the entry points to this office bomb site. Can Fury flush them out? Because they're running out of time. Clock's under 20 seconds. There goes Dark. Usus will join him, but from a different team. Solitov makes it look so easy as he just pops on over. I9, the last one standing on his team. MnM looking for their first lead of the game, and they're gonna get it.
Solitov really stepping up for his team in that round. I mean, he was everywhere and yet nowhere to be found if you're a Fury, because whenever they look in his direction, he disappeared and then reappears to backstab you right after. 3 rounds now to 2 in favor of MnM. Things are looking better for them. Fury, when they don't manage to get the opening killing, build that momentum in the round and the advantage, they seem to struggle to finding a way into these rounds. I mean, even here, Nello goes for a run out, gets shut down immediately from BG Man, but after that, they don't really get anything done. And it's also we see the 4K completely shutting down the entry on both the left and the right-hand side on the bomb sides. Final defense now underway for the first half. Back where things started. On this bomb side, that is where Fury found both of their only round victories so far. Let's see if they do anything with the attack or repicks because of this, and as I say that, they are going through a couple of different options. We've seen the OSA being picked up as a substitute for the multi-ban, most likely to go for that backstairs take. We see an Ace being picked on towards, from Nuke onto Flores, from Ash onto Bug. And of course, there is one standout operator in particular, which is Lycolis, who is finding himself playing the Glass. Now, Glass as an operator is not something that we see very commonly in professional play of Siege, but today in particular, I think we have seen more use of glass across all the teams playing than we have in the last, like, 12 months of Pro League. It's ridiculous.
I believe it's called APAC. If there's one region where you're going to see Sens, you're going to see Ying, you're going to see Gridlock, and you're going to see that glass get brought out, it's APAC.
Yep.
For a period of time, they were also the only region that reliably ran shields as part of their strategies, Nick. So they're ahead of the curve or they're behind the curve. I mean, you can be the judge of that.
I mean, I would say that some of the executes I've seen today, specifically in Clubhouse, how they utilize the smokes and the flashbangs and whatnot, is beautiful to watch.
Solotov taking an awful lot of damage inside a pantry. Has to be concerned for himself. There's a lot of soft walls in there, and even a single bit of bullet pen will kill him. Dark, after getting all 7 of his kills, is now reunited with the same site that he did that on. A 4K in round number 1, a 3K in round number 3. And both of those, the only rounds actually that Fury have won. They lost Office and they lost Barbecue Kitchen.
Looking to keep things the same, but getting that 3rd round and tie things up for the first half. And they are making progress, although be it slow. ININE downstairs with the bot can do a bit of vertical destruction, but things otherwise, because MnM, in fact, have made holes looking back towards them. And you see MnM actually now contesting vertically for the first time on this bomb site. Normally, they sit far back, they let them do their thing downstairs, but now MnM are actually fighting back. No easy entry points once again for Fury, and that's where they struggle the most. But BG Man, always there, time and time again, to find a win and kill, this time onto Nave on the smoke. A crucial operator gone from the board.
Ooh, advantage is in favor of Fury at the moment. Plugging those holes again with the Kiva barriers, as we see teams do time and time again. Nello can use his utility even if he's not finding his way onto the score sheet. ININE has often been left in those unwinnable positions, all on his own, hasn't been able to make much impact outside of that. He needs to stay alive for the time being. The Buck will command the back portion of this map. Losing Dark, obviously, is something that we can humorously poke fun at for how good he's been here.
Yeah.
But he's been the best offensive threat for this team. They will miss his presence for the final 30 seconds.
There's actually no smoke grenades for like Colas and Glass. He's playing frag grenades, no one else is smoke grenades, so it's a Glass, but without the gadget, essentially.
And he's got a grenade, primed and ready. BG Man taking some damage at the top of back stairs. He gets the nade to work like Colas. First kill comes with the nade, takes out Nello. Tyrant retaking the site, but he's in the wrong way, and ININE gets him good. Usis lines up 2. They fall like dominoes. ININE has to go for the defuse plant. Usis thinks he's getting pushed, but he's read it wrong. And the diffuser will go down as ININE pops up, and Usis does a lot of damage, but ININE wins it. Said that his kills weren't particularly impactful. Hard to have greater impact than that one. First half, tie 3-3.
Such a frustrating position for MnM to be in. Uses, he clutches back in a 1 versus 4, down to 1v1, but they lack critical information. ININE and Fury, they get the diffuser down, and he gets out just barely behind the chassis and gets the pre-fire onto the Aruni. He wins the round, ties things up, 3-3 now. It's anyone's game on map number 1 of Skyscraper. This is Fury's map pick. Next map will be Chalet, but Fury finding 3 rounds on the attacking side is a great position to be in, despite it coming off the end of a clutch.
This is gunfights galore. That was the nade.
Damn, okay.
Literally delivered at the feet of Nello. I'm actually quite surprised that Uses didn't get the kill there, because that DMR is a 2-shot.
Well, he hit the wall through at least 1 bullet, right? So, very, like, I mean, you're a millimeter off, and that's it. DMR says goodbye. Oh no, not these POC mats again. I mean, look at this. Top of the staircase of Drum. I mean, if you walk into this, you're gonna hate yourself.
What do you think the odds are that we see one?
I'm like one of those guys. I say 50-50, right? Either we do or we don't.
You're so
it's very boring. I know. But it's a very safe bet to make, so. And I'm not a betting man, so.
You're boring.
I know. I do like this from BG Man. Skyscraper does have a ton of different windows you can jump in from, but it's kind of the expected place for frost maps to be, and that makes them less effective. So you put them in the lesser expected positions, like top of a staircase, inside a drum, and all of a sudden you might find yourself chomping on 1 or 2 members. Now, oh, look at this. Knave is reaching top of the wall and bottom of the wall, and it's gonna make the entire thing soft, kind of like a Maverick trick, and you can Ash charge it, and it's just open. So that's actually a hobby trick you can make with both Hibana and or Ace. And it basically acts as a thermite charge with a, I mean, similar cost utility, but it's quicker. And there's no thermite being played on that side of the map because Nelo's elsewhere, so yeah.
Or he could have used a single Selma and they would have been able to just walk in and save
It's not as cool. It's not as cool.
One of the Ash.
It's not as cool, trust me. It's very important that you intimidate your opponent by blowing their minds in the game. And they just blew Fury's mind. They're like, what is happening here?
Well, I don't know where Usus was. Crit J finds kill number 1 in the round, and Fury has an advantage on this second half of our first map. Unsurprising to see T and Karaoke being the place that we are playing on. I wonder if MnM will make that back stairs as much of a focus as Fury did, because so far it has not been the case.
No.
You can see Fury's actually hanging on to it far more actively than MnM ever did.
Yeah, the only member you have is downstairs is Tyrant, and so is on the balcony now taking this confrontation. Or does he get swung first? Swing or be swung? The question earlier for MnM against Falcon. This time MnM holds on steady. So tough. Goes to a drone instead, but that's gonna get punished.
Good read, and there's no follow-up because you cannot get much more from somebody playing on backstairs, unless you happen to be on the bottom of the stairs. Where Tyrant could have been, frankly, but instead, oh, he wants the main stairs. Gets out-dueled by Dark as BG Man dies elsewhere. Narrowing these numbers down as Fury is doing works in their favor because if they trade out, MnM will run out of bodies before Fury does. Flashes, and there's a swing from the Capkin of Crit J. Nello walking in, and the Capkin is just totally lost. Out to La La Land indeed. Numbers narrowing. MnM have more work to be done over the final 25 seconds. Nick. Down goes Nello like Colas, flattening him with the TCSG, and it's Nafe in a 1v3 to ascend the back stairs.
15 seconds remaining.
I know exactly where he is, and I9 posted up. 2 rounds in a row, Fury regained the lead.
And this is exactly why it's so important to rack up those numbers on defense, getting that 4-2-1/2, because it is going to be difficult to attack in these rounds, especially if you lose the opening duel and you go 4 versus 5 on attack. It is so hard to find your way back in because you'll often see from both of these teams, they will fall back to the bomb site, kind of bunker up together, play the 2v1, so go for, you know, relatively safe plays like I9 running out the door. It's a very safe play. And then you've built such a big lead, you can just start taking these very aggressive front forward swings like we saw from Crit J and BG Man. And sure, maybe they die, but it's still a 3 versus 1 in that case in favor of the defending team. So that opening kill, that's where my eyes are gonna be. A big focus for me to watch. And if you're MnM, you gotta try to isolate those members, find them, pick them off, and then build from there on. Might see some glass in both teams, maybe. We'll see if also sticks the glass. Still gotta take a repeat to
You
go
know,
through.
the rule is you don't talk about the operator repick.
I believe it's opposite. I think if you talk about it, they're gonna be like, you know what? Let's give them the talk about it and then showcase what it's gonna be about.
5 seconds
So you go,
left
oh yeah, they're gonna
before
play the glass. It's kind of cool. They can do this, and look at this. He sticks it. He's like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna show you. And guess what? I have frag grenades, just like Fury also had. And it was like Coast is playing the operator. Now, the big difference here is Nafe on the thermite is bringing a set of smokes. So the glass gadget will be activated unless somebody gets spawn peek here from I9.
You take the 1.5 off of Oryx, you give it to Amai. You think, oh, of course they're going to play safe because these gadgets generate over time. Nope,
You are wrong.
you are wrong.
We all know that if you get a 1.5x, you are the natural swinger in the meta. You guys gotta go for those fights because this is a comfortable place to be in.
Are we talking about swingers again?
Yeah, we are.
Got swinging on the mind.
The swinging and the swunging.
Don't be wrong because I'm swinging. Please don't find me for saying his name.
No, please don't.
Crit J has the pulse shotgun, by the way. I don't know if that's something that you touched on.
No, I haven't touched on it, but I have seen it earlier in a game that we did not cast, and I always, when I see a pulse shot, I'm always like, what is going through this person's mind? because that shotgun from FBI operators, it is terrible. Like, it does not do any damage whatsoever.
High fire rate, though, and I think that's all that matters a lot of times.
Yeah.
Spam it, especially through the floor.
Sure. Let's see. I mean, Critch is dying to the fire, actually. The Goya canister blowing up. One shield gone, make that 2 shields gone. You could pick up the shield and relocate it, but maybe it wasn't the BG man's shield. I'm not sure exactly who it was.
No idea, but that's all very good value so far. The wall that was opened up now gets closed, and look at this. Solitov is just walking in. He needs to be a bit slower, but he's just going to take matters into his own hands. Down goes like Cole, is traded off by BG Man. The Warden playing by Bar. You can see quite long range. Crit J is now joining him. We'll rely on that pistol as the shotgun cannot do much. Fire drops. Fury right now very much having the upper hand in these engagements, and they double up in numbers over MnM with a minute to go. Here's some more action now as BG Man sees Nave just standing menacingly. Fuses walks in, he finds 4 kills. He wins the round. He's got 1 so far. That's all he's gonna get. I9 from farther away than Wamai used to be played. Once again, because the 1.5, that's Fury, 5-3.
And looking good for them. The discipline, the crossfires. I mean, even strategically, they have a double shield. Flores clears it with Terror Drone. A second shield gets moved over. It gets cleared. Guess what? They reinforced the wall mid-round. They adapt really well around the problem they couldn't solve. That was keeping that position alive. And it works because the Warden is there to counter the glance of Solotov when he makes his push. MnM, they're going to call their tactical timeout. And Julio will talk to his teammates and hopefully figure out what the issue is here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is an issue that might not have gone diagnosed in the matchup earlier against Falcons as well. MnM were only successful in 5 of those rounds, losing out to the Middle Eastern team in their Tier 1 international debut. The first time they played an international major for Rainbow Six.
Yes.
They came away with a victory. And, well, pretty good shots are going on to the next phase, which, as far as I'm aware, if they make it into what would be the group stage portion, be the first time that we see a non-traditional 4-region team make it into the groups.
Yeah, I believe you are correct with that. Yeah.
See, because it's always, back in the day, it was Brazil, it was EU, North America, and APAC, but obviously APAC was a much smaller scope at the time.
Yeah.
You've got a wider breadth of teams competing, but more importantly, you've also got the LATAM teams as well that are competing. And when we say LATAM, we don't mean Brazil. We mean Latin America.
Things really have changed up for this year, huh? So much more representation across the board.
10 seconds to insertion.
MnM now, after the timeout, will of course need to find success. If you go for a timeout and you go tertiary attack, the problem is that you do not want to defend as a defending team if you can avoid it, and then you lose the round and, you know, Fury goes to match point, you are in the gutter. Now, this is a best of 3. It's all about the long game, right? We got at least 1 more map to go, possibly 2 more. So don't check yourself out just yet. MnM, they opted for a more execution-oriented lineup. They got both the Flores, the Thatcher, and the Ying to kind of make things crazy on the bomb side if they can get there. Crit J, Fury, they know this. They want to shut it down early, and he doesn't get the kill. Solotov is so slippery.
Solotov doesn't want to engage too much, and very easily could have lost that fight. Immediately popped whatever chance of hope that you saw ballooning for MnM after they've taken that timeout. Most concerning aspect for MnM, unsuccessful so far on 2 separate bomb sites. Haven't won a round on defense, weren't able to do it on T-Karaoke, weren't able to do an office. Now they're going to go to a 3rd bomb site and hope for the best.
Yeah. Remember how they defended it to themselves? They usually above and hold the bomb site beneath you. BG Man gonna be the front line here for Fury, holding down that geisha portion of the map with the castle barricades, denying some lines of sight. He's gonna be a world of hurt though, because Nello taking Dillas and some smoke grenades and flashbangs to boot. I mean, if MnM they want to fight, they absolutely can. Right now they got other, oh, there we go. They got other things in mind. They want to clear the bomb site first, actually, to set things up for that later execute. Did they get, okay, there we go. Boom. Banshee cleared.
I was a little confused as well.
Yeah, it didn't activate, right, for a second. There's no mute in the board either. I keep saying that. Oh, bulletproof camera set it. That's smart, actually. There you catch. Yeah, there it is.
Thank you, observers, for letting us know.
Thank you, observers.
This yawning chasm that Nello sees in front of him, but cannot find the player on the other side of it. He's lost about the same amount of HP that Solotov has now. And with a minute to go, the clear for MnM is upstairs still.
Yeah.
You'll have to swiftly take that geisha portion of the map before moving on towards the kitchen.
I imagine they're gonna try and bait the kingdom upstairs, then push downstairs instead, because no one's really here to push this. Let's see.
Whoa, Tyrant looking the wrong way. The overturned table is the domain of I9, who at one point was 2-5, now 8-5. Like Colas pulverizing. Nath uses down, and it's almost a flawless round. Good Lord. Have mercy. That's match point for Fury.
Yeah. I mean, this is their map pick, but I will say the result right now and how these rounds are going, that is a bit surprising to say the least. MnM, they kind of try to choose they chose the path of least resistance. They were gonna yank in delegation to deny the verticality from BG Man, and then go for a straight bomb set execute. But sometimes the simplest solution isn't actually the easiest, as simplest at all. Because it happens, the C4 goes out, Nave gets off the plant, they try and kill the C4, but then they swing the back on the bomb set itself. It's not great, and things they fall apart. MnM don't look very confident nor comfortable. It could be Skyscraper, it could be the map, it could be how Fury is playing in these rounds, but either way, MnM are not in control right now of these rounds whatsoever. They're being shut down at every turn they make.
I know that it's not their map, I get it. But at the same time, I'm still seeing a lot of the same issues that were present in that first game earlier today. You know, obviously no slight to Falcons, but there were very obvious ways that MnM could have improved. How many engagements over the last 3 rounds have we seen where MnM look, I don't want to use the word clueless, but certainly like they're not clued in to where the defense are.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out, there's no mute. There is now in this round, but in previous rounds when mute has been absent, there's been no Mozzie run whatsoever. So is it just improper drone work? Are you not being thorough enough? Is it that you're maybe getting a bit too hasty?
Yeah, even in drone phase right now, I mean, MnM, they've lost 3. Oh, not again.
No, okay.
Great, I mean, I gotta say, from Fury, great job to just keep up the pressure. I mean, again, here, they saw what Falcons did to them, and they're doing the same thing. Apply pressure constantly and shut down MnM. It worked earlier, and it's working now.
Excellent read by Fury, and, well, it's a 3v5. The 3 being MnM, 5 being Fury, and it's Fury on map point. So,
yeah.
Not that you're entirely doomed. There's an awful lot that you need to accomplish. And it's funny that we talked about the Mozzie because there's both a mute and a Mozzie that are present in this round.
They agreed.
Before there has not been.
We need more drone deny.
I mean, it seems to be working. Nice shot from Solotov. It costs him, though. Not his full life, but a lot of it. To the point where any explosives that would go off could be enough. There's only 1 impact, that's it. Nello swings, but he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn door. It's all up to Solotov now in a 1v3. Fury can just sit pretty and wait. Let him tinker. And he doesn't see the Armalite Colas. A huge victory for Fury on their map. 7-3 the scoreline. APAC might not be the only region to go home. MnM will go to their map choice next. Will they be able to keep this close, or is Fury going to walk away with the 2-0? We'll find out in a couple minutes. Welcome back, everybody. We've got an interesting situation in front of us so far. All of the teams that have gone home here in Phase 1 of the Copenhagen Major have all been
from APAC.
And guess what? The team that is currently poised to win this series is
also APAC.
Incredible stuff.
Which means we could send a European team home maybe in just a map's time, which will be Chalet. MnM, they gotta do or die right now, and it's not what anybody expected from them.
There's been a lot more dying than doing for MnM in today's matchups. The thing that you and I touched upon is that a lot of the same mistakes that were committed against Falcons are being committed again. There are games where your opponent is simply better, and there are games where you are simply worse. And that's, you know, it depends on the day. Falcons were the better team, but MnM were also the worst team, and they made some mistakes that Falcons were able to capitalize on. This matchup, I don't really think Fury was objectively the better team. I just think that MnM were objectively the worst team in the way that they approached this. There's that shot again, that incredible shot.
Yeah.
But MnM made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, and I think the big concern is that you mentioned earlier is that these are the same kind of mistakes they also made earlier against Falcons, and they've had 3 to 4 hours to talk things through and prepare for this matchup, and it very much looked like Fury. They looked at the Falcons game and said, okay, MnM, they struggle when pressure is applied to them constantly. Let's try the same thing. Skyscraper map 1, you can do it. Chalet is the second map, sure. MnM, they love that map to play on it, but Fury can apply that same playstyle and maybe get the same result.
Absolutely. I mean, MnM seems to get really tripped up by these hyper-aggro styles of play. You pointed it out in the cast, Nick, that the Falcons decided to be really aggressive, really aggressive in MnM's face at all times. And it was Fury who started doing the same thing, and it started to pay off. And all of a sudden, you have MnM unable to keep up with that aggression, unable to muster up their own aggression, and just simply being beaten back at every opportunity. Now, things were especially bad on Skyscraper on defense.
Yeah.
Which is a huge issue for them, especially if you look at a map like Skyscraper and you think to yourself, well, it has the distinction of being defender-sided, right? Well, we're now going to MnM's map choice of Chalet.
Yep.
A map that is not historically defender-sided, but it does very much revolve around an aggressive style of play, probably more than Skyscraper. And so far, that's been the Achilles heel of MnM.
Yeah, MnM will have to make a big change in their performance and playstyle from map 1 to map 2 to make things work for them, essentially. And sure, they will be a lot more comfortable on Chalet, but comfortability is not going to get you the entire way there. You gotta actually show up in the server and show that you've learned from your mistakes of the past and fix them.
The old saying when talking about our third map, Oregon, is it's the map where good teams go to die. Now, if it ends up being a particularly miserable map for Fury, and we do need a third map in total, what the hell happens on Oregon? I mean, I'd like to speculate on it. Maybe we get a little bit ahead of ourselves and talk about Oregon, but with the way that you've seen these teams play today so far, what happens on Oregon if we end up going there?
I think Oregon is going to be like the most chaotic storm. Oregon.
Say it the way you said it the first time.
I can't repeat that. That was not an intentional way that came out. Oregon.
Say Chalet.
Chalet. Chalet. No, Oregon's gonna be chaotic. I think Chalet's gonna be a little bit more controlled, if you will. Of course, we gotta talk about sides. I can spoil for you that MnM will start on the attacking side and Fury will start on defense. Now, the team who chooses the map, that is going to be MnM, they do not choose the starting side. So it's important to note that Fury, they chose to start on defense. Not the typical place to start for teams, but it is the place you want to be at if you want to apply the pressure that we spoke about. Be in the opponent's face, deny the entry points. I think Fury got a good read on how they want to approach this, and I really think they can actually take this map from MnM if they show up and if MnM don't fix things, as we mentioned earlier.
As we have said time and time again on the broadcast, just because you have an idea of how to do something does not necessarily mean you will be able to execute that idea. For example, I think I have many strategies which could be employed at a world championship level, and yet I play in gold. So just because I think that, I only lose because of my teammates, by the way.
Oh, you're one of those, yeah?
Just because you think you can do something doesn't mean you're going to be able to act upon it. The good news is that if you do have preparation, sometimes preparation is half of that battle, and there are lots of teams that will go to their opponent's map with the expectation, all right, we are definitely going to lose this, let's just get it out of the way. If Fury are prepared for it, then maybe, just maybe, we can see this be a 2-0, and our first non-APAC team will go home. As we've been talking, Nick, operator bans are rolling in. A lot of similarities so far. Two differences from the first map. Number one, Ying and Azami are removed from play, whereas it was Monty and Valkyrie as those respective bans before. Dokkaebi and Solus being banned out.
Yeah.
Typical fare for what we saw in map number 1.
Yeah, Asami, of course, being a ban on Chalet, it makes a whole lot of sense because it's so difficult to actually pick apart like the library side of things when you want to go for that roam clear as an attacking team, and you don't want to deal with that. So again, nothing really standing out here from the norm. Of course, you saw Ying be utilized actually by MnM mostly on Skyscraper, but they deemed that Fury might do more damage than they will, despite MnM starting on the attacking side, because this is one of the difficulties with operator map bans, or operator bans rather, on a map, is that if you start attack and you ban a very important attack and operator, you cannot just make do without it, substitute it, figure out something else. Now, of course, with attacker repick in the game, you can change things around all the time in the drone phase and figure out what you want to do. Right now, uses a little bit of flexing on Skyscraper. He's going to start things off on Brava to deny some dronage and grant himself and his team some information.
Huge match for MnM. None of these teams that are present at the event ever dreamed of coming here and then just playing a couple maps and calling it a day. In all reality, you could play literally 3 maps and then be on a flight home the next day.
Yeah.
At least if it is MnM, it's a short flight.
I suppose, if that makes it better, yeah.
But imagine flying all the way around the world and having the result be that you end up getting sent packing. That's devastating.
I guess if you want to be like a motivational movie person, it's like you take this as motivation to do better, to practice harder, to come back stronger, and to beat the odds next time, you know? But in all reality, it sucks. I mean, going home early, this is what every player dreams of. I mean, Invitational is even more so, but for a major, also the sheer experience you can gain by being here for a couple extra days, the practice, the scrims, etc. More official games in Tier 1. That's what matters for these two teams. Fury especially, of course. Starting things on defense, they got this very dynamic hold. I mean, they got softballs opened up, deployable shields, they're holding the crossfires. This is the strategic meta that W7M started last year, actually, but things open up with a back and forth trade between these two teams.
All right, well, both going for a trade. More killing goes on, but it favors MnM that engagement. Solotov again, losing an awful lot of HP, but still coming away okay-ish.
Attackers have located
upright. Lycolas doesn't even flinch. Swats away at that Flores drone, but the position he's in, holding this angle. He's exposed to library stairs. It's a dangerous spot for him to be playing in, side of this office nook.
There's a high risk, high risk, high reward, but Slits gets found and uses trades it back in. 3 versus 2 is still in favor of MnM.
First Brava that we're seeing in this best of 3. You hear the pair out on the balcony. MnM in a 3v2 with a minute to go. Still plenty to work with. Both exothermic charges in the hands of Nello. Is he going to apply them at all? The double panel by the balcony. Half opened up. That's where we said Lycolas was playing. Maybe a little bit too aggressive. Restrained aggression. Maybe a bit more beneficial. BG man, can he be the big man?
No C4, it's gonna be hard.
And there's that exothermic card.
Oh no! The Terror drone.
Well, I mean, I guess you could just walk right in, right?
Yeah.
At this point in a 3v1, you could very easily just go for the kill. BG man sees that the plan is going down, swings, gets picked off. MnM doing something within the first round that they haven't done so far today, which is lead much at all. They had a very brief lead on Skyscraper for an entire round.
Wow.
That's it. A 1-round lead is all we've seen from MnM all day. Did not lead in their matchup against Falcons outside of that second round. Again, a 1-round lead.
great round for them as well. They pick off the early roamer in the basement. Vigil's gone from the fray. Blue stairs gets cleared out as well, and all of a sudden things just get easier because Fury, they played that open dynamic style hold that I was thinking of, like WCM, they kind of made that the meta last year, and they kind of reformed how teams they play Chalet. The issue is when you're not the creator of a strategy and you see someone do it and it makes a lot of sense and on paper it works really good, if you are not able to play the strat the correct way and apply it, correctly, the strat might work against you. That's kind of what happened in that round of Fury. The crossfires weren't really being held. All of a sudden, two members, they overextend past the normal line of defense, and they dive from an angle very far away through two soft destructible walls, and all of a sudden they lose that equal number situation, and they fall back in that 2 versus 4, 1 versus 3, etc., and they lose the round. When in reality, if you played very tight with those crossfires, it should be very difficult for them to make any progress on the map. That just wasn't the case. Fury, they will change things up, go 1 floor down to the kitchen bomb set instead, as they started upstairs in master bedroom. MnM, they didn't really change a whole lot here. They are on the IQ now just to kind of gain some intel, deny some intel, while also playing the Brava, so they can actually do a lot of work with the default cameras and the Valcams as well.
6 double drone setup being favored by MnM through these 2 rounds. Flores and Brava being present. Twitch an option as well if they want.
That's a lot of droning. You can play all 3.
Yeah, it adds what? It adds an extra 8 drones to your arsenal at that point.
Damn.
Twitch drone is persistent, as is the Brava drone. They don't expire. The Flores drone has a timer on it. March up library stairs. That bulletproof camera getting a lot of value. But they don't stick around. No. MnM decide, let's go inside of library. Let's take control of chimney above. And now that bulletproof camera might not be long for this Earth. Similar spot that we saw like Cole was playing in that alcove upstairs in office. That's where BG Man is. Gets shot away at by Solotov. This extension that we see from Fury right now is holding strong, but slowly MnM is chipping away at it.
That bulletproof camera getting so much value, but in the end, uses with the Brava drone, the Clutch drone, ends up taking it into their control instead. MnM, they have not made a lot of progress on the map, but they are working down that utility, which is exactly what they want to do. Nave has not done the job of the IQ well enough right now because those Valkyrie cameras are right above his teammates, and they have all the info that they want. Extra limit charge can put crouch levels so they won't get impact tricked.
And they blow up the floor and now can look down successfully. They kill the Valkyrie, and that's the wall opened up. Advantage right now. MnM, 1 minute to go. This is the pace that they want.
Yeah.
Still 2 more players from Fury playing above to try to nade one out. It falls short. Solotov looking the wrong way. He's outdueled by Dark. Still in piano.
But now they lose top floor control. That means that if, Fury can hold above it, it can deny the plant downstairs from MnM. They don't have any smoke. Oh, they take it back. The Nano has 2 smoke grenades. That could be the saving grace for them. But again, they lose map control. Tyrant gonna try and challenge up above, but it's not a favorable position for him whatsoever in this Ivy hallway.
Oh,
great shot.
Goodbye, BG Man, as uses, swings across the window. Nello breaks in. He finds some comfort. Soft walls, though, but it's an unorthodox position for a lot of players on attack. And every single member of Fury picked off, except for Dark, who was playing above, but now gets ever closer to the bomb site. They'll give his position away. They know exactly where he is. It's Tyrant inside a kitchen. MnM cooked up a 2-round lead.
Really great adaptation as well. They recognize they lost upstairs, run deep. They don't even need the smokes the way that we thought they're going to use them to try and get a plant down. Instead, they just have a solution for it. And that is the thing about Chalet for them. They've played this map so many times to great success. They have more solutions to default to when things don't work out the way they should. And it shows a big difference and improvement from Skyscraper to Chalet. And Fury, very early on, just down 0-2, will call for a tactical timeout. This is most likely going to be a big change in either mentality or communication or simply the play style. Maybe the coach is going to say, guys, we had a plan to play very front forward in their face. We're not doing that right now. We're defaulting back to this classical style of playing Chalet, and they're too comfortable playing in that way. Get really in their face aggressive. That could be the case. It's what they did on Skyscraper. It's what Falcon did against MnM earlier, and it worked. And it's kind of what we expected from Fury as well going into Chalet.
Fist bumps all around as they both get to talk.
Yes.
Not just one.
Master Bedroom actually being hovered once more. Of course, the benefit to losing when you're defending is that the bomb sites don't lock up. So if you want to take a swing at it again, different approach, maybe the same approach, you can do that. Be my guest.
Saw the new R6 share skins were announced today.
Oh yeah, the tier 2 ones, correct? I believe so, yeah.
That's correct.
I haven't really gotten a good look at them just yet. I was on my phone, on my small screen, trying to, you know, gauge. Very colorful. I like that. The skins this time around. Okay. Of course, a jammer on this shield in case of a Retera drone from the Flores. That's why the jammer goes there. So 2 shields here. So again, played the same similar setup on the defensive side. So Fury, they don't change anything strategically. Same player position, same utility, etc. Same operators. But how they need to play in the micros, so the minor details of how they go about this round, that has to be a change for them. I9 thought Gebetov uses was close right, but it's in fact upstairs, above the trench. A bit of a scare if you use this, thinking what's happening, okay. Okay, I'm alive, it's fine. Lycolis using those yokais downstairs to assist I9 on the roam. So they're playing downstairs basement with yokai drone information and they're holding down that top floor as well. That's gonna split MnM to decision. Do we hunt the roamer, that is Vigil, half the drone, or do we leave him for a potential flank later on, but progress the map upstairs elsewhere?
Is Vigil still roaming now inside of the lobby? Defenders have a drone of their own.
Located a bomb.
Such good value for the yokai as well.
And it gets back in 10 seconds for the yokai to go outside. And guess what? Oh, he's going for it. Oh, maybe not. Got their attention at least, maybe. But Solotov is actually in a position where he can be picked off. Uses was as well. Are they aware that the door was opened up? Lycolis shutting down Nafe, but an answer back from MnM. Another Nello picking up 2 kills, matching his kill total in a single round from all of Skyscraper. Bad news for Fury. They continue to lose bodies. Suddenly MnM still holding on to this lead. They're just cutting right through them. I9, what are you doing? BG man at least has his teammates back. They spotted him downstairs in Trophy. Below the bomb site. Walking back up. Nello with diffuser in hand, yet to die. Tyrant to do Overwatch at 4 kills. Neither of these players dead yet. BG man just a single kill. He need triple his total. Get 3 kills. He need 2 more. You'll hear that buzzer going as he gets closer to the A-bomb site where the diffuser has been planted. But he's at about the halfway mark right now. Listless, playing ever so patiently. Cut down by the door, Tyrant ends that run. 3-0 for MnM.
That's 2 plans in 3 rounds. It's been 3 either uncontested or contested opening kills in favor of MnM. And of course, we saw Fury bring the timeout after round number 2. So things are only really going to get worse. They can't really pull that plug and talk to the coach any longer. MnM, they have built a lead. They have built momentum. And again, they have a simple plan going into these rounds, and Fury, they tried to punish them in that round. They traded 1-for-1 multiple times down to 3 versus 3, but then again, in the micro detail of things, MnM just 1 step ahead. They're in the right position to get the right trade, or as we saw, Fury, they overextending, a little bit too eager, running around with impact grenades in hand, gets shut down from that trophy window. Solotov can jump in and just initiate things time and time again. Chalet, definitely not a map where Fury looks as comfortable as they did on Skyscraper, so this could very much be that chaos line of Oregon that might ensue as the 3rd map.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a particularly confidence-inspiring Chalet for Fury at all. You know, the way that they're playing this, Nick, I feel like they're trying to be aggressive, but they're not playing that unpredictably on defense.
No.
This is actually a fairly stable style of defense from Fury.
Yeah, I mean, it makes too much sense, right? Essentially, if you're MnM, you look at this, like, oh yeah, they're gonna be in these positions and do these things most likely, etc. And you see MnM, they have their guns dialed in, scoped in, waiting for things to happen, expecting these crazy things, and then Fury gets punished. Whereas in Skyscraper, a bit more unorthodox, and of course also MnM just having less experience themselves. smaller sample size. This right here, Brava. Why Brava is such a good operator? You hack the default cams. Defenders, I mean, this is a very new operator, came out this season. You're not used to this. You're not gonna look at the default cam and be like, oh, it's an enemy default cam. It's yours. And you see Dark. He has no idea.
Look at how long he's being watched for.
Yeah.
Surveilled, even.
Oh.
And that's the power of a single Brava drone.
Yep. And you get 3 shots per drone. You have 2 drones. Stocks.
There's Solotov now playing the same angle, but it doesn't look like the information on the chimney player is still relevant. Dark's getting pinged away at. Might know it now. Leary, but they have all this information, but there's just nothing. Like MnM, what was that? You knew Dark was there. You had him on read, and yet it's all for naught.
Yeah.
A bit of a head scratcher.
A bit puzzling for sure. I mean, where's the follow-up? Where's the coordination? That was just like, oh, it's so easy to walk in. But then again, Fury, they overcommit. I9 swings out too far and gets shut down from the window from outside. And BG Man also finds himself injured on the ground. Shield disappears from Crit J. And now Fury have been destabilized. They're in a very troublesome position right now. And MnM, they can jump in together with the man numbers at their disposal, the advantage, and just like overrun them.
Dark surviving the flash is still in the same position. There goes Crit J. But this is closer than it looks.
1v1.
Suddenly Dark's got 3 kills, it down as well. But the quad's all he can get. If only he'd fired a couple more bullets in that same direction. That might be a bit too close for comfort for MnM, but they still walk away with the round. Fury held off the board for 4 rounds at this point.
Yep, that lead is building up. Almost the ace for Dark. He has been the very high-performing player on Skyscraper, and also a great showcase so far, at least in that round here in Chalet. Bomb side-wise, what do you do with your Fury? I mean, you have tried all 4 bomb sites now, and neither of them, or none of them rather, worked. Now you gotta go back through the rotation and go, which one do we like the most? The ones that didn't work out? Well, I can tell you, because I can see it. They chose Basement. See the replay right here. Tyrant didn't even get hit, actually, in that engagement, despite only having half HP. That could really have gone either way. But yeah, Basement is where they opted to go. For Fury, they're going to be extending out of Rome, while also playing the mirrors. So they're gonna use the mirror windows to hold above the map control inside of the fireplace to deny MnM from going inside of there and destroying the floor.
5 seconds left.
The exterior wall is actually soft, leading to the bomb site. That's a new one. Now there could be a mirror going downstairs, I don't know. There's still one in pocket of like Colet, so it makes sense if it was put right here. Yep, there it is. That will oversee the exterior breach, the exterior wall, etc. It'll work out just fine.
Well. 2 rounds now after the timeout was taken, not proving to be very successful. This is one of those maps where, or this is one of those matchups where it seems like the maps are quite definite.
Yeah. Yeah. So far, at least.
Yep.
So whenever you're faced with this problem that MnM is right now, because that is, as a defending team, you have to put up like a big maze, a big array of problems. The attackers have to solve it. MnM can either go for a straight bomb set execute and face down the mirror window like Colas, or they go upstairs and deal with the other mirror window and 4 members, or I guess 3 because BG Man is back on site now, or the 3 members.
Kept Garage soft, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, and the mirror's gone as well. That's a big loss for the defending team. Playing a 2-3 split, of course, I believe Dining Hatch is so they can drop down quickly if they need to. And MnM, they're striking from both angles, both the backside and the front.
Well coordinated by MnM at this point, but yeah, leaving that garage wall soft and then just completely vacating the premises, allowing these attackers to take the mirror window as well is definitely a decision. Might not be the right one in this particular instance. A drone graveyard in front of Nello. 3 drones all stacked up at the bottom of Trench means that if any of these players from MnM survive later into the round, you can very quickly get them into the site and see exactly where these defenders may lie. No defenders lost their lives just yet. Only BG Man's taken some of that HP away. Down goes like Colas. Maybe I was speaking a little bit too slow. Crit J now in on the fun over towards Trophy, giving his position away. Solotov unable to control the recoil. Taken out by I9, and suddenly Fury with the numbers advantage, but Usus will walk right in and into the waiting arms of I9 as well. Another kill. Tyrant has an idea. He hasn't died yet. Could the perfect round still be had? 9-0. 2 players down in the bomb site. 40 seconds left. No utility except for a single EMP grenade. So you got to put all your faith in the hands of the DMR, of which there is about to be one. Swinging in your direction. BG Man on blue. Does I9 have the cross?
Yeah.
No. He senses it. Tyrant looking to continue on without a death yet. Baits him in. This is possible, but no. I9 makes it 10-1. Fury finally get on the board.
Incredible attempt for Tyrant. He read the situation perfectly, knew the crossfire was established, tried to bait out the members. He swings one, fades away, and fights the second. He almost makes it work with the DMR even. And Fury, they get the first round. It's an incredibly close one at that. It was that basement defense that was successful, and it pretty much came down to individual gunfights. Fury, they won more fights than MnM did, and they got themselves once again in a favorable position, the 2v1. And if you play it correctly, you should be winning in those situations.
Yeah, I mean, there really shouldn't have been such a delay on the Aruni swing. That one would have obviously made a huge difference, but sometimes there's players will be maybe a bit more cautious.
Yeah. Somebody goes, swing, swing, swing. You go, no, 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 please don't swing, please don't swing. Because it's one of those, like, some guy thinks it's like throwing if you swing because like it's risky. The other guy's like super confident mechanical player is like, nah, dude, if I swing, I'm gonna win. It's actually, there's a thing, philosophy-wise, where when you're in a 2vx,
10 seconds to go.
every single player on a team will likely choose like someone else. It's not like everyone's gonna go, oh, I want to be in 2vx with this guy, because you will match up differently as players in compatibility. For example, back when I was a player, if you put me and Junas in a 2 versus 2, we would probably lose every single time, because we approach the game so differently. Whereas you put, I don't know, Gogan on a 2v2, we approach the game in a very similar way. So compatibility in the 2vx's very important. And you saw from Fury, as you mentioned, Parker, a bit of a delayed swing. Can there be communication, compatibility, not being on the same page, etc.?
That could have been very, very risky, Nick. But Fury still gets away with it, their very first round. Can breathe a sigh of relief. They are in this game, and their best hope now is another victory and roll that momentum over to the other side. Worth noting that outside of just like mental momentum, there isn't any type of comeback mechanic or economy that's present in this game, so it's not like,
wait, they didn't, you do more damage the more rounds there's against you. It's like a 10% slight increase per...
correct.
It explains Kino's shotgun damage whenever he plays smoke.
No, give me a break.
That's the only explanation. Imagine that was a thing. That's like, think about it. Imagine for every round you're behind, you do 10% more damage. You can lose shots on purpose and just go nuclear. Like, let's do it. DMR's just like one-tap people. That'll be something.
Yeah, would it?
Upstairs wall opened up, but it's not the bomb site. It is going to be like kitchen down defense with the vertical extension. Last time, Fury, they don't really fight for office. They don't, you know, want to dive in that position. But they do hold on just around. Naif has a good read. Stare down contest.
I9 is safe inside a connector though, Nick.
Oh, wait. They got friends coming. They know he's down here. He's done it every round so far in the roam.
That's like the sound of the cavalry.
Okay.
They drone him out.
The gig is up.
He gets away. Oh! Punished through the wall by Naif.
Beautiful.
Read him like a book. MnM, obviously angry over losing that last round, and they're coming for Fury in a hurry. Lycolis also dying a bit too early for their liking. The operators that Lycolis have been favoring are your sheltered anchor operators. They need to stay alive, as does Dark. Once again, Dark, the most consistent player for this Fury squad, and that's a disappointing performance in this particular round. A 5v2 for MnM. 30 seconds remain. Solotov will see Krejci. Nice shot from Solotov. And there's a flawless round as Uzis collects yet another 5-1 the first half. Oregon, map number 3, looking extremely likely at this point.
Oh, it does. I mean, you gotta feel for BG Man on Fury because he is last alive almost every single round in like a 1v3, 1v4, or 1v5. It is not a fun place to be in. And to make things even worse for him, he usually plays mute and never has a C4 in those moments to work with. So he just has to swing these long lines of sight with this MG11 and just get decimated. You know, there's 5 guns looking in your direction. This is not gonna work. Side swap. First half has been done. Elena goes in defense. Basement is where they'll start, but the Orbital lineup is much different than that of Fury. They play the Bandit, the Oryx, and the Goyo as well. Tyrant Unleashing. So again, kind of playing both sides. Can I get to one clubhouse where you can hold the bomb side with maybe just the Bandit? Bandit trick the walls, stop them from breaching. Then you have the Goya Vulcan, you know, canisters. You can pop them if you need help for the, you know, roamers to go back to the bomb side. And then the other 3 or 4 members, they can go up above, use the Oryx against a shotgun, the dash through the walls, etc. Release an impact grenades to set up the upstairs hold. This means again, Fury as an attacking team, they have this big maze in front of them. Do they go through the maze and deal with the roamers and the bomb site and whatnot? Or do they do this simple solution? You pick a bomb site execution enabled operator, like for example, a Glass, a Ying, or a Blitz. And you pop open the first wall that you see, and you just run on in and make it the most chaotic round possible. Now, this is smart. The Goyo canister, the Vulcan canister, is blocking the drone hole, like the Rook armor back in the day, but it's bulletproof. So a net goes out, but it's also going to limit the Bandit trick to only be on the inside left-hand side wall, which means like Colis could very well just breach the left-hand side. Now, you can impact trick that to the drone hole, which is why they're not opting to breach it, because they think they're gonna get played. But as we know from the outlines, it's just a Bandit there right now. There is no impact deny. They could have just opened it up. But that's the benefit of being a viewer. We know it all. The nade is perfect from Dark. And here they go.
And on to the races. I9 sprinting on in. Well, you have that same level of success. On Skyscraper, he was fed. Whoa! He was just killing everybody, including Nave. What a show right now from the Goyo.
Oh my God.
Solitop picks up 2. The go for broke strategy, exhilarating, but ultimately unsuccessful. That's map point for MnM. They want Oregon, and it's coming in a hurry.
Sometimes sacrifices have to be made in these kinds of moments. And if you sacrifice 1 member but kill 3, it's whatever, you know? The C4 takes out the important enemy of the Blitz, and of course, the important friendly teammate that you had next to you. I respect the attempt from Fury. Things were going their way. They got the opening kill. They knew the Vulcan shield was gone. They get the Bandit, wall is opened up, and they just have a Blitz. Why wouldn't you full send? The only issue is the roamers from MnM, so quick to respond. They were already down on the bomb site when the Bandit died. And that's the difference maker. No hesitation whatsoever. If that Blitz got in with 5 seconds more before the cavalry shows up from MnM, it's probably a done deal for they get the bomb site in control. So Bar will be the next bomb site for them, and yeah, things really are just looking like we have to go Oregon. Of course, we can't count out Fury entirely, but they will have to build a very, very long and hard-fought comeback in this 1-6 deficit.
I definitely agree it's going to be long and hard, Nick.
Yeah. But how likely? Yeah, the comeback. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how likely is the question? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. A run out from Nave. A behead Lycolis. Lycolis is a player on Fury who must not die in pretty much any round. Whether you're playing Echo, whether you're playing Maestro, this particular round out there on attack, playing Hibana, you need Lycolis to survive.
Stay alive.
And yeah, and well, he's not. So that poses a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so greasy. This is so greasy.
That is one of the worst things that can happen to the defender. You sprint through the bomb side thinking you're safe, and you die to a double cap gunshot because Brava has hacked them. Yep. Oh no, Nave, it's the cap. Okay, he knows.
He knows because he sees the bright blue.
Yeah. Not every player sees that, to be fair.
I mean, Dark didn't see it when he taken the default cam, but look at this. Does he see the clutch? No, he does not. Solitov outduels Dark. Things continue to go very well for MnM. Will we institute the mercy rule? Coverage for MnM right now is completely boxed out Fury from getting into any part of the map. Can't get into the building. Tyrant's got this long range angle. He died only a single time. Huh. They don't really need to do much. This is...
you're right. They can just kind of wait it out. Fury, they gotta be the ones to initiate and try and get in the building and find these openings. But Tyrant, as you said, only died one time. 11-1 right now, cannot be stopped.
It's not even treading water at this point. Fury is drowning in this round. It's just down to BG Man and I9. And they're just letting that clock continue to tick away. Working down, down goes I9. Can we see another flawless round for MnM? Oh, we can indeed. Solotov sends it home. 7-1 for MnM. Proving that sometimes you know your own map.
Yeah, sometimes you say, as we said, like, what are they, 100 games played, only lost twice on Chalet, something like that? Yeah, it's 101 games played now, and still no more losses to add to the tally.
Well, a disappointing second map for Fury, Nick. Not exactly the results that they wanted. We've got an exciting Oregon. One map determines whether MnM or Fury goes home. Will it be another APAC team, or do we say goodbye to our first EU squad? Let's find out in just a couple minutes.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Don't hang with a who line for nothing. I see that we different, you riding, I double. I don't do discussions on bragging about hundreds. Don't go to your places, I know that they sunken. Don't call me your brother, I barely could trust it. I talked to a shorty, she bagging the bucket. And I'ma need all of my dollars on corporate, so hand me the money, I divvy the pie. I'ma give all of my people a portion to build them a fortune on flipping the ride. I can't be mixy when iffy the vibe, and 40 on 50 is really the time. Why are you all on my phone like you want me, like you wasn't pushing the kid to the side? I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling.
up, fellow gamers? We're here for the exciting conclusion of MnM versus Fury. And we have some highlights for you. They're ready. Would you like to see them? Too bad, here they are. Not a lot of highlights for Fury in this match, but a show reel of MnM absolutely bullying the ever-living daylights out of an APAC team.
Pretty accurate presentation, yeah. It was a MnM in full control every single round, essentially. Sure, Dark almost had a 1 versus 4 clutch, but outside of that, not much really happened for Fury on Chalet, at least. They looked a lot more alive on Skyscraper, and hopefully they'll look a lot more alive on Oregon. Otherwise, MnM will just take it away.
Well, I mean, you got to see what Fury could do on a map they were comfortable on Skyscraper.
Yep.
Then you go to a map that very clearly they were not comfortable on at all. And again, we talked about how some teams win matches and some teams lose matches. So far, through these two maps, both teams have made a litany of mistakes, and honestly, as good as we saw Fury be in map number 1, and as good as we saw MnM be on the previous map, Chalet, that just ended, honestly, it was more characterized by the mistakes that the losing team made. And unfortunately, for Fury, it was them. They only mustered up a single round. Dark was really the only player on the team who showed up, did not go positive, broke dead even. Question is, as you asked, what happens on Oregon? The team that commits the fewest mistakes might not be the team that wins, for the record. Do you have any guesses as to what do you think could potentially happen?
Oregon is, as we always say, the map that good teams go to die, but who is the good team in this case, right? Most people before this match would say, MnM, they're the better team, boom, easy done. Hasn't really been the case. I think it comes down to, as you said, who makes the least mistakes, who plays Oregon better, and who is also willing to kind of bring something that is not the default approach to the table, because we saw Fury and Chalet try and go for a rush. We saw MnM play a pretty stable style of Chalet, but still willing to take risk when it mattered. So if you take risks on Oregon, deal with tomfoolery, some fun shenanigans, can get you pretty far.
A lot of these bomb sites on Oregon are going to play out very similarly in terms of how a team can approach it.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a lot of creativity, I suspect, from these two squads in how they go about on attack and defense, holding on to or attacking these bomb sites. So in a lot of ways, it's going to come down to how efficient can you be with your utility usage. If Flores remains unbanned, you've got a lot more wiggle room to screw up because you're gonna have so many explosives at your disposal. But these teams have also shown that they're willing to swap up the operator ban.
I was gonna say, Flores might not make it past the over the ban phase.
Well, the funny part is that Dokkaebi has been banned out both times. Solus has been banned out both times. But we saw some changes. Ying and Azami banned out on Chalet. Monty and Valk banned out on Skyscraper. Now, Azami is a strong ban on just about any map at this current point.
Yes.
Ying is an incredibly strong ban on Oregon. As we saw on Chalet, this could be a Dokkaebi Yingless Oregon, which then keeps Flores in play, which will make defending the basement a hellish endeavor.
Very true.
Fury's going to be starting on defense. So they will be getting the first ban.
Capitao.
It's a Capitao. And you look at the face of Nello. Did you see the face he just...
Yeah, I mean, Nello is typically the Capitao player, and MnM, they are known to have, you know, brought Capitao in the past, but they also play Monty. They also play Ying. Like, the great thing about Nello and MnM is that they play so many different operators, they can always substitute out the Capitao ban for something else. MnM, they themselves will ban out the Monty, once again target banning Fury, so both of those operators for the basement bomb site will not be in play. And as you said, Parker, Asami, almost guaranteed to be banned, and if not banned, almost guaranteed to always be played. She will not see the light of day either on this map.
Well, with Fury starting on defense, every single time they got to choose what they didn't want to deal with. This is the very first game where Dokkaebi is going to get through in the series. Ying, unbanned. Flores, unbanned. And immediately, even though operators can be repicked, you see a Flores get locked in right off the rip.
Not too big of a surprise. Of course, the Tiger Reaper can change things around, but if Flores and a Ying and Ayana, I would expect to see more often than not, because such good operators in Oregon. Ying in particular, and as you said, Flores, the terror drones, they will go in, clear the utility, then later in the round, you can take out, you know, the Ying with smokes, or taking the hot breach and the candelas, and just blind the entire bottom side and start off the execute. Now note, Kaid, when we talk about that operator, Kaid is also open and available, and it's why we're seeing Nave on the Maverick. Because if a Kaid was to be brought in this round, it is so tricky to open up those hatches, even with secondary MPs or a Thatcher. It's just not a wasted operator pick, but why play a Thatcher where you pick it for the sole reason of just getting opened up a hatch with those CMPs, when you can bring a Maverick, get a set of flashbangs, and get the hatches opened up, etc., and a bit more versatility. So that's what they're going to opt for. Only a Tiger Reef change that was made was that they go on to a Dokkaebi to get a more, I guess, more ways to help they execute with those phone calls later on in the round. But it's also going to be a soft roam game being established from Fury. They have the Capcan, they have the Solars, so they got intel to work with. They can slow down the attackers by both just, killing some drones, or if somebody were to run into a Capcan trap, might do a bit of chip damage as well.
Cover me. Oh, we talked about the Dokkaebi being available, and you hear the Logic Bomb immediately, a sign that has not been heard in a couple hours. Ying on the board, Dokkaebi on the board. The Maverick is an interesting one for me because we don't commonly see this operator get brought on this map any longer. Usually it's an ace, sometimes you see a thermite.
Oh.
This engagement does not favor the mute of Lycolas playing those angles with a shotgun.
Oh, they might want to hold on to this actually with the ADS being relocated.
They've invested an awful lot on this freezer stairs. Drones will be thrown at this Fury defense by MnM, and I-9 in a wrap position by Sandbags. Looks to have gone on. Nope. Does not get undrone. Crit J out-dueling Solotov. And the very first kill of Oregon goes in favor of the defenders of Fury. Already a more promising sign than what we saw through most of Chalet for this team.
Yeah. I guess you can argue that, Dokkaebi already got one phone call off. You got the roam 2 successfully done now from MnM. Losing Solotov on the Dokkaebi, not the biggest of losses. You would rather have the grenades and uses an entire land and sledge. You still, of course, want to keep Nilo on the Ying. And the Maverick also has 3 flashbangs. It's just fine. Okay.
That's the ITA shotgun in the hands of Solus, playing at the bottom of Laundry Stairs, really close to it. Very similar to what we see out of a smoke. She's also got access to that secondary sub-SMG, submachine gun. There goes one of the hard breach on the main hatch over top of Laundry. The Ying's still in this position. Now the pivot coming in from MnM towards blue. I-9, it's scooted off towards blue stairs. It's pulverized by Tyrant, who then picks up space in the same spot. Droning from Nafe will show that blue is relatively clear. So you've got the back stairs, those blue stairs. You've got blue clear as well. Now it's time to utility dump, and Nello's the one to spearhead that. Tyrant finds another kill. Dark tries his best to shut them down. It cannot be done. A single kill to his name, and it's Crit J in a 1v3. Nafe holding on to the diffuser, but Tyrant and Nafe are both so low. Crit J can do some damage. Diffuser going down, shotgun out at this close range. This is a winnable fight for a Solus, but he's got to get out of his position, and he can't get it done. Tyrant brought back from the dead. Good enough for the final kill. MnM on the board first.
It's a good start for them. Looked at a little bit dicey with that opening kill going in favor of Fury, and MnM being very far apart. No one there to trade or make any sort of engagement back upon them. But then again, I-9, he oversteps on the big tower stairs and gets shut down from that angle from meeting stage. And then the numbers kind of get evened out. Tyrant, beautiful nade, goes basically around the ADS, doesn't have to deal with it. A second one to follow as well. And then the nade almost finds the second target of BG Man. He sidesteps it, but he walks into the other side of Tyrant afterward. So much being done, and Tyrant actually picked up 4 kills in the round. With MnM, it just seems like it's a different player. Every now and again, just popping off, getting 4 kills. It can be Tyrant, it can be Solotov, it can be Uses. It's usually one of those 3. But that's not to say that Nello and Nave, the support of MnM, they don't show up ever. They too have their moments. It just happens to be that they're not needed that often to do that kind of job because the other 3 members do it for them in those locations. Or in those situations, rather.
Well, they abandoned that laundry supply bomb site and immediately will go upstairs to the double dorms.
That's surprising, right? I mean, even if you lose the basement defense in Oregon, it is such a defender-favorite bomb set that every single team would go to twice at least before giving up, usually. It's a bit of a different approach here.
I mean, there's two schools of thought.
Yes.
Right? The first school of thought is, hey, we lost this.
Go
probably
next.
not. Yeah, probably not a good idea. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You don't want them to be able to settle on in. Because unless there's some big glaring mistake or it comes down to a really tense 1v1, strategically you think, let's take a bit of a reprieve and not allow them to settle in. Go to another bomb site instead, and I think that might be the thought process here. The good news with a map like Oregon is that the double dorms bomb site is also exceptionally good for the defenders. So you have a wonderful option in your back pocket. Over the Chalet and Oregon matches, Tyrant has just been unstoppable. What was he, 11-1?
Yeah.
But look at that, Lycolas takes the engagement to big window, picks up 2 kills. He catches both of them off guard. The Sledge and the Ying down for the count. Tyrant from below looking for more. Can he capitalize? No. Hasn't even hit any of the players from Fury.
Lycolas saved the round. I mean, that was a full execute. He stopped it right then and there in the big window. If they had gone in, plan goes down. That's dire time for Fury, but they hold on.
Wow. That Para does an awful lot of damage. Goodbye, Lycolas. Now it's Solotov to march in, but he just runs right past the closet. Dark holding in this position.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know that he ran in after him. They passed each other like 2 ships in the night. And Dark sits there. Does he not hear the Claymore go down? He still thinks somebody's there.
Oh my God, Solotov.
Oh no.
Come on.
No, 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 no! Dark thinks there's more. Not ideal.
Not ideal at all. Drone your corners, my friends. Drone the area, of course. Solotov didn't have any assistance there. There's probably not any drones on that side of the map because that was the intended path for MnM, but they find kill after kill to trade though.
Down goes Tyrant. Nafe is in. He's got the diffuser. 2 targets to be found, watched by the camera. Cross into dorms. He doesn't know where they are, but attempting that diffuser plant might coax them out of their position. BG runs right in. Excuse me? Nafe did not deserve to win that at all. Now on the angle he's playing, but does he have the rotate to hop on through? He'll go for the diffuse plant, but he's against a soft wall. Dark hears it. The flick on over. Round 1 by Fury in a bunch of oddities unfolding.
Way too close for comfort. Dark with a nice snap secures the round, but it comes down into that 1v1. Nafe just say, you know what? I'm just gonna try and plant. Gets off it, gets the kill somehow. From the 2v1 back down to the 1v1, but here Lycolas saving the round, the injure and the kill, stops the nade, stops the Candelas, and no one else could have really salvaged it the way that he did in their player positions. And then we had Dark and Solotov kind of dancing inside of the master bedroom closet itself.
15 seconds.
And this boom, that wide for the view really helps him out. Great round from Fury. They bring it back. They bring it back. Back downstairs they go. Downstairs, upstairs, and down again. Orbiter selection, of course. Defenders, they are locked in place. Cannot make changes once you start the round. Attackers can attack or repick any amount of operators. It could be 1 attacker, 5 attackers, 0 attackers.
10 seconds left before
Nothing changed so far. Only thing that changed last time was that they went from the Flores onto Dokkaebi. This time they stick to Flores, so they want more self-destruction. But they also bring the Hibana instead of the Maverick to just guarantee those heads getting opened up quicker as they either gamble or have valid drone intel that there is indeed no Kaid on the board this time, just like there wasn't in the previous basement defense.
Changing mags.
Talked about the power of Flores and first attempt. Hadn't seen one, didn't need one, really. There was very limited blue focus from MnM. It was mostly freezer side and then back stairs. Blue itself was not as important a factor as you would think. This time around, the Flores leads me to believe that that will be a bit different. Got enough hard breach as well with the hard breach gadgets. The hands of Mello's Ying, and then Nafe rocking the Hibana. Those hatches have been opened up quite quickly.
And you mentioned how this might be a more like blue-oriented attack, and then some people might go, then why are they attacking small tower? Well, you gotta go through the first step of roam clearing, and going for a straight blue take, unless you go for that crazy kind of blitz rush, it's just not really a viable option. So this very well and most likely will be a backside execute, but as I mentioned, we gotta go through the first step. Take the full map clear, get open all the hatches, and then choose the front or the backside execute. That's going to be how most teams approach Oregon. That's what we see right here. Tyrant will lock down one staircase, then Nello will walk in, breach the hatch. The 50-50 gunfight. Oh, it's risky.
On the final bullet. Lycolis giving up a little bit too much on those freezer stairs.
Again.
An immediate redrone, but Tyrant's gotten out of that position, so there's nobody to shoot the jammer. 7-1 for Tyrant. What is that? 18 kills and 2 deaths since the start of Chalet. Hard to argue against the impact that a single player can have, but boy, oh boy, MnM are going to continue to ride Tyrant to the finish line.
Certainly looks like it. I mean, he's also playing Ina. He's got grenades, he's got the Gemini clone, he's got so many different pieces of utility he can use to get himself forward in this round and get more kills. And we see who's that on the go. It's Crit J advancing forward.
I like this play. They might catch him off guard. Indeed, they don't think that he's going to be up so far. And it's 2 kills inside of blue for Crit J as he bypasses the drone. No follow-up. Now it's Tyrant's turn. At the bottom of the stairs, doesn't see I9 playing those rat positions. Nello seems to have made his way around, and he finds the Wamai. I9 could be no more, but now it's Nello's turn. What is this round? These superhero plays and individual efforts from both of these teams working out very effectively. Candela goes. Nello looks the wrong way. He just needs to kill BG. It's Nello's world and we're living in it. A 4K to give the round to MnM and put them back on top.
And I said it, usually it's gonna be uses and solo tough and whatnot, getting those clutch moments to 4 hits, etc. But I also said, do not count out the supporter cast of Nello and Nate, because when they are needed, they show up. Nello, it didn't look like he had any business getting those 4 kills, but he did. And he spent the Candelas beautifully. The first 2 got him down the tower staircase, in towards pillar, got the blue kills, and that final Candela opened things up for the freezer push, and he goes in with confidence. Now there was one small thing that kind of made me giggle in that moment. When he gets the kill to freezer and flicks the guy inside the bomb site behind him, his teammate's dead body is falling between the 2 last remaining players, and it looked like for a moment Nello was like, which one do I shoot? He found the right target, of course. Ying's gun has 81 bullets as well, so doesn't get a reload, just goes for it. And you're up against an ST211 shotgun nude slash smoke, so they don't have that same luxury nor benefits. MnM, they clock shit 2-1, they're in the lead, just barely. And Fury, they will change things around. They lose basement, they go elsewhere. They will rather go to a tertiary bomb site than try and go back to basement again, because they have failed both of those defenses, which statistically shouldn't be how those rounds should have happened.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers recover.
Oh, what?
Quite a round.
I mean, you can't say it hasn't been an exciting matchup, Nick. There's just no other way to phrase it. I mean, they've...
It's like a perfect amount of like chaotic, hectic.
Obviously been a lot of chatter about APAC's potential as a region, and huge amount of APAC teams that are here in the very first phase of the major, and how many more will be present down the line when we get joined by the old staples from the region.
Yeah, the phase 2 teams.
But the one thing you can't say is you can't say they're not exciting.
And that's the thing, they are entertaining to watch. They bring different strats. I mean, as you spoke of earlier, we've seen a lot of glass play today, a lot of multi play, and usually with a lot of success. It's not the one-off strats and different meta game that's failing, you know, APAC as a region. It's usually the individual performance is not really being up to snuff, or the team performance in the bigger picture that kind of falls apart. The Bravo value here, GO doesn't get the last bit of camera, but still a lot of value to be had from a single clutch drone.
They're patrolling this area upstairs. It's out of trophy, now back over towards Armory stairs. seem to have much of an inkling as to where the attack is going to come from, but he's still holding very vital map control.
Oh.
Crit J with that high rate of fire, able to tear strips out of Tyrant, giving himself a window of opportunity. Wasting time on the ace of Tyrant down below. Solotov didn't get called in for backup. There's a swarm of players from MnM above. Goodbye I-9, like Hollis on the right side of an early engagement this time. And there's Dark, as we'd said, holding that vital map control. He's got the cutoff to main lobby. Nello in a desperate attempt to flash, meets all the magnets on stage. And he's left alone. An impressive showing in the previous round, but this one might be too much. 1v4, 30 seconds left. Buying time. Manages to evade that Banshee.
He's hacked, actually, for Brava.
Could be. Yes, it has been. They're just laying in wait now. They see him. Target acquired. Crit J finishes that one off. He's just twisting in the wind. Nello didn't really have much of a snowball's chance in hell that round. Not in the position he was in. Oregon, extremely competitive between these teams. 2-2.
Also, it's very backwards. Oh my, what a great shot. Very backwards Oregon. We're seeing the defenders struggle on basement defense, but then, you know, in a 4 versus 1, they win the territory bomb site. Upstairs in Kid Storms, sure, it was a hero play from like Host to shut down the execute, but still another like 4 versus 1 situation that came down to a 1 versus 1. So it's very much backwards. As we see, Fury will go from territory to secondary in Kid Storms before going back to what should be and usually is the primary bomb site downstairs. But I think it's great that Fury recognized that that bomb site isn't working for them, and or MnM simply are just too efficient or proficient at attacking the particular bomb site. They change things around to their favor. It's smart from them. MnM really going through their attacker repeat options right now. They were hovering a Gridlock and a Brava at one point. Now they're on the floors and a Brava instead. They get the Dokkaebi. It seemed like they might have had a pocket strat up their sleeve, trying to go for a plan with that Gridlock, but instead they'll go for that more stable, consistent lineup that we see from them. More often than not, they can kind of deal with all the problems that is going to be arising. Spawn pick attempt, I-9. He's been pretty good at this throughout this best of 3 so far. Just always applying that early pressure onto MnM, but he gets off the angle a little bit too early. Knave did re into it, did pre-fire the door, so maybe it was smart to get off.
One thing that often gets overlooked is the changes to the muzzles that you see, whether it be a compensator, muzzle brake, suppressor, long barrel. We don't see as many long barrels, extended barrels, as we used to.
Nope.
But suppressors still quite reign supreme. But it's nice to have that diversity, just as we do see the diversity in the sights as well. Not huge changes, but player comfort is something that's often overlooked in these balancing changes.
Yeah. Of course, if you can't get a zoom scope, you will typically try and go for it if you are a, what, a 4-3-84 FOV player, as we call them usually.
Yeah.
Oh, great value.
There goes the shield. Crit J wants an engagement with Tyrant, but he gets his wish. He probably thinks that he'd wish for something else at this point.
I mean, this is the thing. Going for those individual 1 versus 1s of Fury, it is their doom or gloom. Or rather, yeah, whatever. Happy or bad, you know, whatever. Basically, if they get the kills, things go well for them. If it doesn't go well, they just find themselves in like this unfavorable position out of nowhere. Somebody surely could have held Crit J to isolate that 1v1 into a 2 versus 1, but instead they'll just fall by the wayside, 1 by 1 by 1.
Dark and Solotov working together to see who can reduce whose HP the most. It's Solotov who actually wins that argument. Down goes Dark. MnM on the seesaw of a match, going back and forth. Like they could easily secure a 3rd round. On attack on Oregon, I think that bodes well for them. First casualty for MnM comes. Solotov gone. Remainder from MnM have to get close to the bomb site now. Only 50 seconds left. No, Knave is the one that's holding on to that diffuser.
Oh. Going to Tyrant over. They're going to say we need edit control to kind of pinch I-9 in between 2 players. And it's a wise choice to go for, but there's not a whole lot of time to MnM. They got to act quickly.
Nicole is taking some damage now as BG Man will stop whatever push comes up white stairs. Nello hoping that he's a bit sloppy on where he plays. I9 wreaking havoc now. He picks up 3 kills. He's completely shut them down. And the inability to flush BG Man out of this position is the undoing of MnM. 3 kills from I9, 2 kills from BG Man. Fury's got their first lead of the game.
Yep, the clutch factor as a team in that 3 versus 3 shows up, but the early situations, those 1v1s, didn't go their way. MnM, maybe Oregon, isn't going to be as easy as you were hoping for. Now, there is good news, I suppose, if you're an MnM fan, because the next bomb site that Fury will defend is that launch slide downstairs. For MnM, they have won all the rounds so far. We saw it, I mean, it's a 5 versus 2. Then I9 inside of attic, he finds one, and he finds a second, and then we see BG Man just holding on the fort on that big window area and shuts down the last 2 players, white stairs and big window entry.
Always appreciated the ability to hear the players and the coaches and the comms that they have.
I will say, I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get the listen-ins for tactical timeouts as a different invite. Just a tiny bit. I really like that feature.
Hi, Blast. Can you hear me? Hello?
Could we
please
implement that feature?
Could we get the ability to hear the coaches again?
Thank you.
Let's ask the people. Hello, people of chat, and people in the comments of the VOD afterwards. Would you like to listen in to the coaches?
Yes.
Please. That's
sorry.
Please, please put your answer in the chat.
Yes.
Thank you.
There is a blitz.
Again.
But there is no rush. It's a rushless blitz round. So, okay, what's gonna happen here? Solotov is setting up for the rush later in the round. So it's gonna be what we call an off-paced rush. It's gonna seem like it's gonna come out of nothing. Now, Solotov isn't on drone, so he's not really being efficient right now. He's just kind of waiting for his teams to get into the right positions, and then he's going to go out of nowhere, most likely. Well, we see multiple members of Fury just hiding. 1 member upstairs hiding, 1 member in Big Tower hiding. The kind called hats killed the drone from uses. Yeah, those flanks on Big Tower side could be a problem later on if MnM, they either don't find it or if they get too close by.
Hell-bent on destroying all of the wood in all of Oregon. I don't like it. Surprising result in the previous round as Fury won what looked like it was very much in the hands of MnM. But don't ever discount the defenders at a disadvantage on that Dorm's bomb site upstairs. These are rad angles. They love to be held. Crit J might overstay his welcome. Tyrant had a grenade ready. It goes out, but it's too slow. Crit J gets back downstairs. There goes Dark to Solotov with the pistol out. All right.
Okay. Curious whether Dark swung out knowing it was a blitz or if something else happened, but either way, Solotov, this non-rush blitz works out. Didn't even use the gadget, so it must have been a... I don't know what Dark was doing there. Either way, a minute to go. MnM, because Solotov is outside of blue the entire round, they have not had 5 members to roam clear this map. That's why they're so slow to the punch. The Tyrant's got 1 member locked upstairs, so it's technically a 4 versus 3 on the bomb side if they want to go for it.
Usus needs to wait out that fire. How come the Goyle fire doesn't destroy drones? Can it melt them at least? Oh, Crit J getting real active with the Omai as well. The advantage goes back in Fury's favor. But Solotov's in on the party and he sees the Mira, but she just sprays away. Usus in a 1v2. Fury want the 4-2 split. They're collapsing, but Usus is trading bits of his HP. And he can't get it done against Lycolis. Fury take the first half, 4-2.
I mean, this is a huge round because this again, 4-2 side half for Fury. Sure, it's Oregon defense, but they are showing up. They could not win a basement defense. They tried so many times, 3 times. That was the 3rd one. But now they make it work in a huge 2v2 fashion. They come out on top. And I will say, Solotov made a critical error. That was trying to barricade the door, actually. Solotov made a critical error on the blitz. Blitz's flash range is not that long. It got nerfed a while back. The Mira was most likely barely blinded inside that small closet area. He went for the ADS and he got shut down. Going for a melee punch there or getting closer before opting for the flashbang is the safer play. He gets punished because of it. Puts his team in that 1 vs 2 position. They don't win it out. MnM will start downstairs on defense. It's where they need to find success as a team to build up these rounds because things only get harder from here on out if you win this bomb site. They bring the Mira, they bring the Warden and the Smoke. Those three operators, that is your go-to cookie cutter staple operators. They work so well for basement bomb site. The Warden counters the Ying, the Smokes, the Flashbangs, etc. The Mirror windows can help you hold that freezer portion and bottom load your stairs from the bomb site itself. And of course, we all know Smoke. He's played on every bomb site because he is one of the best defenders in the entire game, period.
Extremely versatile, great shotgun access to the SMG-11, which is a great rate of fire, even if its individual DPS is quite low. High rate of fire means more opportunities for you to hit somebody's head, and then that's an insta-kill. Very simple math. Look at
That's kind of quick.
Yeah, it's very quick.
There is a mirror window though, so limited can be done from this. That's why the mirror is so strong as bomb site. PG man taking a lot of damage. Yeah, the mirror windows often put to hold the front side of the basement. So again, laundry and freezer. That means the defenders can put more guns and manpower on the back side. You know, the big tower, meeting hatch, and the blue double door leading outside. And that's kind of how most teams play this on the defensive side. And then the attackers, they can't really spread themselves too thin because that's just not going to work out. So they try and pick one side to primarily attack, you know, 3-4 members, maybe one guy flanks, and try and make it work that way. That's why the Ying is so important. Can really set off and start to execute and blind that half of the map that they want to, you know, try and take off or take away from the defenders. Room clear is still on the way. I9 on the entry. Bit of drone work, but the jammers slowed them down, but it's actually clear. And they have fallen back to the basement bomb site with half the round to go. Oh.
And there they come. Maybe not.
Wait.
Away the Candela.
Maybe they do.
Ready. Waiting. But you've got the perfect answer in the Warden playing on pillar.
Ready, set, go.
Oh! He catches it. Down goes Dark. Right into it, perfectly timed. Fury still stacked up on those back stairs. Still with Candela in hand. BG man losing a lot of HP. Crit J as well. And here comes the rush in, but there's a Warden lined up. I9 evades it. Crit J is down. And it's I9 and BG man. That's it. 2v4. Tyrant wounded, on the ground, bleeding out, potentially retrievable. I9 jumps in, pulverized for it. Look at how deep these players from MnM are. And they are just greeting Fury in all the best ways. It's Defender's Paradise here on Oregon, as MnM win their very first defense.
Yep, that's that basement hold, exactly how it's supposed to go by the book. Defenders are so hard to pick apart because they're not isolated anywhere on the map. It's 3 people playing pillar, 1 person playing elbow, and 1 person holding down the back portion of the bomb set on that double mirror window setup. And it's why it is such a strong bomb set to hold. This C4 uses was perfect. It killed 1 member, almost took down a second, and BG Man was low on HP from an earlier engagement on that big tower, and it really just softened up the attackers enough to make that execute so much easier to combat. Toxic Babe goes out. A few ticks of that and you're dead. like Colas is hovering Kali. We don't see Kali very often.
Give me it.
But I would love to see it.
Give me.
Honestly speaking. I do believe that Kali is... and it's gone.
Give me it.
It's gone, Parker. It's not happening. It's Amara instead. Do you like Amara? Are you an Amara enjoyer?
I'll say this.
She's kind of fast.
I think she can be a great operator if you've got a good idea of what you want to do with her, but I find that there are a lot of teams that don't necessarily use her to her full potential. And then if you escape the pro play, I think that she is dreadfully bad to have on your team as your teammates literally kamikaze into the site and die.
What, you don't like playing 4v5?
Not usually.
No, okay.
Now here's the thing. When we see an Amaru get brought, there's 2 ways that we typically see the Amaru get used. Number 1, fly up to the top of tower, into T3, which is exactly where Tyrant is. Go through the window, hope nobody's up there, or at very least you win the engagement when you break through the window. Surprise. Number 2, use it to get into kids' dorms through the main window by the bunks. Is that what we're going to see from the Amaru of Lycolis? Because Tyrant's ready for it. If that's the correct read, he's got a 1.5 and a punch hole looking over towards big window. Lycolis not realizing that he has a grappling hook. As instead... Never mind.
He thought he was being the cheeky one, but in fact he was being out-cheeked by Tyrant. Waiting for the repel, the glass on the window makes no sound, Tyrant still reads it perfectly, and opening kill goes in favor of MnM. And again, Fury playing from behind in the 4 versus 5.
Nade goes out, but Nello's far enough back that it doesn't do a single point of damage. One of the upsides the Rotero drones is you gain information from them. Yeah, I mean, explosives are probably the intended purpose, but you need about 10 seconds to gain information and then use that as you see fit. So that Flores drone from BG goes in, gets information, blows up.
Yeah, that sucks. That jammer, it just sucks.
You can pick up that
the drone. If you really want to go for it, you absolutely could. White stairs though, pretty free.
Oh, that Solitov taking damage. Engagement on Crit J. Jay's looking for an opportunity. He gets flashed out. Solitov instead moves up a little bit closer. Less drop off with that DMR, which will pack quite a punch. But Solitov doesn't seem to realize that there's a player on rappel by the window. Solitov is having a very human, very mortal game. I9 from below had a shot lined up, fails to capitalize. Uses winning that one outright. And White stairs will now be the tough nut to crack for Fury, as there's multiple sets of eyes in this area. Are they gonna push for it? No, it appears that there's a retreat. Flashbang goes in, and Nafe is just at his angle. All right, Nello credited with the kill. Down goes Solitov, and the vault in from Dark is the desperate attempt from Fury as he plays ring around the rosy. Pulls out the sidearm, but Nello finishes the deal. Fury calls their timeout as MnM have now tied the game. 4 rounds.
And it makes perfect sense. I mean, when the side smoke comes out, when you're in the more difficult side of attack, you gotta talking to strategically speaking, because right now, Fury, they're not finding any ways into these rounds. On Oregon, it is extremely important to play for the opening kill as an attacking team because Oregon, very small map, what we call relatively linear, very few ways into the bomb site, you know, around the map. That means that the more defenders that are going to be alive, it's very few angles to be held by 4 or 5 members. So if you play from a disadvantageous position in man numbers, you just simply are outgunned. So you really want to try and play a 5v4 to give yourself a way in, or play like, as we said, the Ying, the Monty, the Blitz, the Capital, those execution operators. Of course, both Capital and Monty abandon this game, so that makes the attack a little bit more difficult. And we've seen both teams try and bring the Ying with mixed results. But ultimately, Fury so far, they need to get on the same page with the game plan and execute off that single plan together, 5 members, and hopefully that way find some success on their attacking side.
Hard to really glean much from that Chalet match, but the timeout that was taken by Fury was not particularly effective, but very few rounds were, and I say plural because there was only 1 effective round for Fury on that map. How do you correct this? Is it just a lack of familiarity for these teams on attack? Only 2 of the 8 rounds so far have been won by the attackers. Fury winning 4 on their defense, and now MnM winning their first 2 defenses. Pushes us to a tertiary bomb site. This is the opportunity for Fury.
Yeah, absolutely. It's off the timeout, tertiary bomb site, and you raised the question, what is it with the attacks? I mean, Oregon is just straight up. It's a hard map to be attacking on if you're not the most coordinated team or just don't have the playstyle that kind of plays around on Oregon, which is you don't want to spread yourselves too thin. I mean, we have seen Fury on all 3 maps, Skyscraper, Chalet, and Oregon. They like to play isolated Rainbow Six Siege, right? I9 often on his own, looking for kills, looking for engagements. Crit J, same story for him. When you're playing Oregon, however, you want to put 3-4 people in the same kind of position, looking in the same direction, and dealing with the problem in front of you. Maybe one guy can be allowed freedom, but you cannot loosen up your soldiers in the front line like this because it's simply just going to be too many people doing too many different things at once. I like this big window rappel and the broken glass barricade from Crit J, but nobody from MnM is there to swing it. They're playing relatively far back upstairs on this tertiary bomb side, trying to hold on to the top floor. For now, the question is, how long do they stick around for? How much pressure does Fury need to apply before they fall off?
I9 was waiting very patiently by the Gemini, and he decides to peek Solotov. Not a good idea. Yeah, Solotov's been having an uncharacteristically slow Oregon, but that's his 4th kill, and, well, it's important because it stops the hard breach from being able to walk right in. One of the two, to be fair, you still have the thermite as backup. Great start for MnM.
Yeah. And Fury, with that opening death, they're just standing still. I mean, they lost other members at the ace, not the intro necessarily, but I9 is one of the most aggressive players and uses, he finds a second onto Dark. Things get even worse for Fury. That's their timeout. It's tertiary bombs at attack. This should be the round for them to win.
They almost lost Crit J2, who's now just about a single bullet away from death. MnM trying to keep the record, which we've seen so far of it being APAC teams going home, intact. The streak will live on if MnM prevails. Oh, that is unfortunate to say the least. They get retrieved. Crit J's there. Both stacked up in attic. Over top of the bomb site, but they haven't been able to flush out white stairs. Solotov is going monstrously big. And he picks up a 4K en route to a flawless round. Is there a worse result for a team after a timeout?
I think we just... No. Unless Solotov literally 1v5'd them, it doesn't really get worse. And he found 4 of the 5 kills in that round. And he said he had a slow start to Oregon, and it's not wrong for you to say that, but he's just a defensive side player by the looks of it, right? He gets in the midst of the battle upstairs, he holds on to it. Him and Usis basically gets that round in a clean 2v5, as Usis also was the first who got the Frostmat opening kill, or the first opening kill rather, and the Frostmat injure later on in the round. And that, because Oregon, full bomb site rotation now for MnM. Basement, upstairs, tertiary, reset. Basement, if they win this, they likely go upstairs. Win that, they go tertiary, that's it, they win 7-4. Fury now need to break apart the bomb sites that are more difficult than previously to get a way back into this and tie things up 5-5. Ying, Glass, ooh, what's happening?
This lineup, bring the pain. Think Glasgow's laundry?
It's gone. Let's fill Ying. It's okay. We can make this work. Now, same setup from MnM. I don't think they're gonna change much up, right? You're always gonna have the mirror windows in the same position. My Jaeger, Warden, Smoke, really stable stuff. It obviously, it honestly comes down to Fury needing to correctly pick this apart. If MnM they do the same thing, and Fury they do the same thing as last time they attacked it, it will be an MnM victory every single time, basically. The attackers have to take control of the execute, of the roam clear, and of the mid ground.
Well, an incredibly important round now as the defense goes perfect. So far, defenders winning 7 of the 9 rounds. Again, the only 2 attacking rounds that have gone, or the only 2 rounds on attack that have been won by the attackers. MnM doing so earlier. Rounds 1 and 3. It's been quite a while since the attackers have been able to get on the board. Not ideal.
Nope, it really isn't. We spoke about it. Opening kill is so important. If you lose them every single time, no wonder you're losing the rounds as well. It's a very fast roam clear from Fury. They got full map control. Hatch being opened on up, with still over half the round to go. They got the Ying, all 4 Candillas. They don't have any smokes, unfortunately. Ying and like Kozis is bringing, or like Colas is bringing the secondary harbors canister instead. So a little bit less utility for the bombs that execute when it comes to it. But MnM just waiting. They know they don't gotta peek, they don't gotta move a muscle. Candela being cooked. Could this be it? Could this be the go, go, go?
Goes off in front of Usis. Waiting far enough back. Very first pick goes for Fury. That's excellent. They've taken Tyrant out of action. He's been the standout performer. Dark pays for it, though, as the guns now come alive from MnM. Sweeping through. Oh, big nitro cell from Usis. Gets 2. Crit J's last alive, but it's another big round from Usis, who picks up a 4K. MnM, match point.
That's what they do. Solo top takes the 4K one round, Uses takes the next. All of a sudden, they are on match point, series point in this best of 3. Remember, the loser of this map of Oregon are going home. The winner will stay to keep fighting into phase 2. It's a very important game for both of these two teams, but right now MnM individually and as a team, just showing up a little bit better than Fury. Now Fury's got to tag upstairs. That's Kid Thorm's bomb site. It's very possible to find a victory here for them and make things even closer. BG man is hovering grim.
No.
He's just doing a toy with us now. Don't do it, man. It's series point. Don't do it.
No.
Grim has one of the worst pick and win rates in professional play. That's why the oh no's on Parker is being heard. And it's gone. Good. Okay. Better. Also, like, Grim for this particular bomb site has, like, 0 value because all the defenders are, like, standing still by default. You're not moving a whole lot on this, but it's like border, maybe coastline if that was the map pool, maybe. But Oregon? Not really a big B map, if I gotta be honest with you. So things will change. Instead, like Colas goes into Ibana from the Flores, Crit J takes the Flores instead. So a bit of a switcheroo. Fury approach with 4 people, 5 people on the master victim side of things. So they are now uniting the manpower on one side of the map, working together to achieve one single objective. That is a great way to approach this map and this bomb site. But they gotta do it without falling by the wayside to the aggressive players of MnM, like Uses, like Solotov, looking for those early kills.
2 minutes and 20 seconds could be all that separates another team from going home. We'll say goodbye to our 4th APAC team. 9 APAC teams will have played at the Copenhagen Major by the time all is said and done. Nave taking some damage, and it's Nello to actually die to I9 on this brazen entry inside a trophy. Flashes go in towards Games, down goes Tyrant. Suddenly, Fury is showing some signs of life that we haven't seen in a number of rounds. Uses, though, goes cross-country onto Dark. Lycolas very low on HP as well. I9 quite low. Solotov just needs to be a bit patient as he sees the shoulder of one of the players from Fury before backing off. The AUG in the hands of Uses. Vector there as well. Uses will need to clutch. Can he accomplish it? Low HP, they're gonna storm in. Their Ataro drone is there, they flush him out. Fury stays alive.
And look at that. They all 5 went to the same side of the map and they worked together at a single problem. And look at that. That was the most dominant round for Fury so far. And it has indeed forced MnM to call for their tactical timeout, which is a dangerous turf to enter because when one team takes a timeout, the other team also gets time to talk to their coach, those 45 seconds. So sure, MnM, they're in defense. They can choose the bomb site. They can tailor their strat to, according to what they want to do, but Fury, they too can figure something out and kind of prepare for what's to come next. 1 round for overtime, but also 1 round away from Fury going home.
Ooh. Timeout taken, MnM. Don't want to go to overtime. We will need about as far as you can go without overtime happening.
Yep. We might even need overtime.
Who knows? That would be thrilling, wouldn't it?
I mean, I think when you're at in a match where the loser goes home, going 3rd map, going overtime, it should almost be just like the expected outcome because teams deserve the utmost, like every single round possible to stay in this. And who doesn't love a 7-7 final round? Winner takes it all. It's wonderful. Every single time. MnM, they've had 45 seconds to cook. They go upstairs. They got the mirror for an upstairs Kid Storm defense, extending downstairs, belongs out of kitchen by the looks of things. To kind of set things up for a different approach. That means, of course, that MnM trying to play a dynamic round of siege where you utilize the verticality of the map design to not just play on the bomb site, but play below it.
10 seconds to insertion.
It's a reinforced armory hatch.
5 seconds to go.
That leads me to believe that somebody's going to be playing in there.
Yeah, that's a...
Because you don't want somebody to blow the hatch and then punish you also.
Interesting.
Always got to make some contingencies. What if there's an Amaru on the board?
Yeah, I mean...
Right up through that armory hatch.
You got a rotate, you got a runic kit over there, you're playing, okay, they're playing big tower, they are playing so spread out across the map now. They're covering all the entry points. Big tower covered, armory covered, of course the bomb site is covered. The only uncontested way for any members of Fury to walk in is small tower into wide stairs and kitchen. That's the only path that is not being contested from them. So they either gotta be now forced to fight early, slow things down or struggle, or MnM will force them and funnel them into a location that they want them to go to. MnM are actually trying to control exactly what the outcome of that will be, decision-making wise on Fury, and making both a struggle for them. And Fury, they know this. They don't want to go where MnM wants them to go, so they're gonna try and change it up. Knave gets away, takes a little bit of damage, might be caught in some trophy, but no, he gets away. But Fury, they take away the first layer, that's armory cleared for them.
Able to flush that position out. It's good timing right now by Fury. BG man lobbing bombs from far away. They spy one player inside of the closet. That's Nello, and oh boy. It's just standing there, and you're gonna meet your fate at the hands of a shotgun barrel. Like Holis picking off Solotov. That's great for Fury. They've still got it. They've still got a chance, and goodbye Nello. You're dead. Wait! It goes a little short. Nitro Cell goes out. That's not short. MnM answers back. They've tied it up in terms of man count.
Nello could be the hero, playing close quarter with the shotgun. He doesn't have to swing, but he can wait for someone to do it for him. J9, he's coming up next.
I9 in this position, but they swing on Nello perfectly. And it's Fury to come out ahead in that duel. Usus and Tyrant still left. The two best players for this team in this map. They got lots of reads on that bulletproof camera. There it goes. Goodbye. Tyrant's just waiting, just itching for somebody to come through that closet. Usus in a very similar position now. Looking for another opening. He's relatively safe in this spot. If Fury don't all push in together, it would actually be relatively simple for MnM to just pick them apart. Nitro Cell goes out, Tyrant collapsed upon. It's all on the shoulders of Usus as he does some serious damage, but not enough. There's a down. They're gonna pinch him from both sides. Overtime for Fury to stay in this event. Nitro Cell goes out. Usus, it doesn't work. The plant continues to go down. And this is his opportunity, and we're going to overtime.
Oh, MnM. I mean, they are expected by many and by themselves to go very far in this tournament, as any other tournament, and they have improved every single event they've qualified for pretty much the last year and a half. But there is a chance that in the next 2 or 3 rounds, they might be going home on the second day of the Copenhagen Major as they entered here in phase 1 and not phase 2. Another close round, but Fury, in the last 3 rounds now, looking better and better. The last 2 in particular, they're playing close together, attacking from one side, the discipline in the 2 versus 2 when covering the planter, not greeting for the revive, shooting the C4 mid-air, ensuring the bomb goes down, and again, not over-swinging or committing or overexposing themselves in the 1v1 against Usus. They establish the crossfire and they play around it. Now, when you're into overtime, you're gonna have one team start on attack and one team start on defense, because that's just how the cookie crumbles, right? You can't both be on defense and you're on the same team, you both win, whatever, you both lose. So, MnM will start defense, Fury will start attack. And I actually think that this favors the attacking team, because the attackers last 2 rounds, they're the ones finding success. Sure, it was on the Kid Storm's basement bomb site, not the basement bomb site, but now Fury can keep things similar, not have to change onto a defensive approach, and just keep things moving the way it was. Blitz is gonna go in very, very quickly. The door doesn't get opened up, that's over, but here he goes anyway.
I9 will just trudge right through, and it's Usus to actually take down Nave. He wanted the kill, he wants all the kills. And Dark's now in a position to do some work as well. This is an all-out brawl 30 seconds in, and both of these teams are finding themselves getting taken out of action. Usus with 16 kills and a tiny bit of HP. Can he get more? It's Tyrant to continue with the bloodshed. Dark in a 1v3, but Nello says no thanks. Just like that, in a blink of an eye, MnM go back to match point.
What a quick first round of overtime. We usually always see teams play very slow, play kind of scared, pressure is high. I mean, there's everything to fight for here. And Fury, massive respect, massive props to them. They say, we expect the enemy to think we're gonna take it slow and be scared. We are gonna go faster than ever. And it looked like a decent initial start for them. Uses, sure, it got the blitz of L9, or I9, sorry, but then you also team kills. Just a 1-for-1, so we see it here. Smoke and blitz, they trade. But MnM, they hold on strong. They trade successfully. And Fury once again backs against the wall. They got everything to fight for. And because it's OT, it's basically a best of 3 in rounds. You play 1 defense, then 1 attack, and then if both teams win a round, you play a final round with another side swap. So Fury, if we go the distance, we'll have 2 attacking rounds. MnM will have 2 defensive rounds. But basement is locked for MnM if they go 7-7.
You look at these bomb sites. In terms of their play rate,
10 seconds
MnM
left
on
before
attack,
insertion.
their only 2 victories were on dorms. Or sorry, we're on laundry. Fury, their only 2 victories were on dorm, which is where MnM have to go, as you just pointed out. So you could, in theory, you could go to one of the tertiary bomb sites because the defenders have a perfect rate on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah. This could get very weird very quickly. I mean, it's a completely opposite organ, essentially, in a lot of ways. Both teams probably haven't been here that many times before under these circumstances, with how the bomb start rotation is playing out, the favoritism for who's supposed to win. MnM will take a slow and a calculated approach. West side over roam clear. They are bringing all the utility in the Blitz, the Flores, and the Ying. That's going to be the main 3 operators for the execute later on. But Tyron, of course, first has to clear the map with the help and support of Chaos and the drones. And we all know that, like Colis, he loves playing that freezer staircase.
Oh, no. Oh, this comeback from Fury, so impressive, but looking like it might be all for naught. I9 and Crit J are no more. Minute into the round, Fury staring down a 3v5.
I mean, it's still winnable, but again, this is like, you can kind of feel the hope leaving Fury right now. They were so much, like, looking very alive in the roam game. They get shut down now. 3 members are just sitting in corners, waiting for the next step to happen from MnM because they cannot risk losing any more members. A 2v5, almost impossible to recover from, but a 3v5, there is still hope, there's still a chance. MnM, they gotta make a misstep along the route somewhere, or a great play has to be enabled from the remaining defenders. Things get worse. Twitch throwing gets the mirror window and freezer. Fury there might be forced to take a fight earlier than later.
I mean, the 3v5 is often hailed as the most dangerous lead.
Yeah.
5v3, I suppose, in that case. It's the most dangerous lead. Like Colis will take from above. Oh, no.
Oh, so smart. So smart!
No way! How does he pull that off? A massive blunder. MnM still with the advantage, but they've just lost their Ying. You've lost your Twitch with a minute to go. That's unideal. If Dark can get a pick onto these back tower stairs, that can be it for this round for MnM. They must be graceful in their next steps.
Yeah, I mean, we said hero play was needed. Like, Colis makes it happen. He set it up for his team. 2v3 with 30 seconds left.
Dark, he's not over towards the stairs. He's blinded for a moment. It will linger a bit amidst the smoke. BG pushing up as well. Last 2 players from Fury in the same spot, but there goes Dark, and it's BG who has to clutch out in a 1v3, or else they go home. Blinded, he gets 1, but not 2. MnM prevail by the skin of their teeth.
Oh, I've never seen it coming. I mean, it's 8-6, it's overtime. Both teams taking the risk, playing fast-paced. The trigger discipline in a 7-6 overtime to get the double kill? Incredible.
Unbelievable. Incredible, unbelievable, astounding. Usus finishing with 16 kills in that match. And the depth of this squad, even with Solotov having a terrible performance by his own standards, it's still enough for MnM to eke out a victory. Unfortunately, that means Fury goes home after 2 days, Nick.
Yeah.
All 4 of the teams that we've said goodbye to, they all traveled a long way from the Asian Pacific region, and they're going to be going back there as well.
It's tough. And I mean, the one thing with these kinds of teams is that they would love to stick around and get more experience, right? I mean, they only have a couple days to scrim international teams. If they could stay for, let's say, a full week, get more and more experience, who knows where they can be in a few months or a few years. But that's the thing. Keep qualifying for majors, keep competing internationally, and eventually you'll just keep building up that experience and then be there with the top teams.
I mean, it was a very even match. I mean, obviously, Chalet was kind of the outlier, a 7-1 score in favor of MnM, but outside of that, even a lot of the rounds in both the Skyscraper matchup and then on Oregon ended up being very close, probably closer than the scoreline would suggest. And of course, it comes down to overtime in the final map. That just hasn't been a single time that either of these teams could shake each other. The defense ended up being a little bit stronger, and it was MnM who capitalized in overtime to get the victory. Skyscraper honestly set us off thinking, okay, this is Fury doing well. And the issues that we saw from MnM in their matchup earlier today against Falcons, and then the same here on Oregon. It's very different teams.
Yeah, but I mean, Chalet, come on. I mean, Chalet is just like, that is pure MnM dominance, for example. And that's where all the fans, they got their hope kind of lit back up saying, okay, my team, they still got it. But then you go to Orc and you go to OT and think, okay, MnM, they're pretty good, but Fury, they actually have the number in some of these rounds because they've really played a tight game.
That was a nice shot by Tyrant on the read of the Amaru, who's on rappel. Didn't even get to see the grappling hook go in, the Gara hook needed. It was a relatively, highlight-worthy match. This is what happens when you get great gun skill, and both of these teams definitely had that. That was a beautiful play from Solotov, and every single round really did just go to show you that they were evenly matched.
Yeah.
For a team like Fury, that's a bit heartbreaking because, as you said, more experience, who knows what they could do. The entire region of APAC has geographical issues that most of the other regions don't have. So learning the ropes at a top level is a tough thing to do because your ping is so high. LATAM has talked about this a lot. Coming to events, being able to play against North American teams, European teams, APAC teams, you gain experience that you're not going to gain at any other opportunity. So far, for the 4 teams in APAC, and notably for Fury, as that's the match that we just finished, unfortunately, there's just not enough experience because you're not going to spend enough time here.
Yeah.
If I'm MnM, I'm not particularly happy with that matchup, and I'm certainly not confident moving forward, but there's things to work on, and I have no doubt that they're going to take that time to work through it.
And I think they know that, right? I mean, MnM, as we said, they've been improving at a very steady pace the last year and a half. They did not expect themselves to find them in overtime against Fury, I don't believe, on third map. So, gotta go back to the drawing board, figure things out, improve for the games to come.
I mean, I don't think they thought that they were going to lose to Falcons either.
honestly,
here we are.
I feel like that was like a very likely scenario because Falcons, underrated team in my opinion. We saw them game set against BDS. They went 8 or 6, 7-8, 7-8 against BDS in the grand finals. That's one round from winning, essentially. So
3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes, 3 times. And Falcons could have been the champions. But that's it for us. You want to hear your winners? You want to hear Nello speak? You want to hear Ginny speak?
Let's do it.
Because we can make your dreams a reality.
I don't think people want to hear Ginny speak, but they definitely want to hear Nello speak. So we have him here instead. Joining us for the interview, first of all, congratulations. It was a long day, but you're here, you've won, and you have your place secured for the next few days.
Thank you very much, first of all. Yeah, it was a long day, a bit of a stressful day, but we made it in the end, and that's what's important.
Absolutely. I want to take your mind back to the first game against Falcons, so on Clubhouse. Coming in, you guys were very much the favorites. Just as in this best of 3, you get kind of like pushed to your limits. So talk us through what do you think has maybe not clicked yet?
I mean, we were studying like how they play, and we know they're a good team. But in my opinion, the game is more on us. We just didn't play that well.
Okay.
It's also like a best of 1, a lot on the line, a bit of nerves and everything, and it just didn't click. And some fine margins decided in the end because the game was close. It was 7-5.
Absolutely. Yeah, the game was incredibly close. How does it feel in terms of a fatigue perspective? So you guys have played like 4 games in total today. It's been a little bit of a stretch coming into some of these games, going to overtime. Where are you guys standing right now?
I mean, we had the best of 1, and then we had the time to reset and focus on this game, but we know we're really good on best of 3s. So as long as we keep our mind cool and focus game by game, it's fine. Like no matter how many games we play, it should be fine.
Okay, well, there's another game happening later, and that's going to be, well, not later today, but later in the week. Falcons against Sandstorm. Do you have a preferred team that you want to go up against in that best of 3? Do you want the Falcons rematch?
We actually won the Falcons rematch, yes.
Okay.
We actually won, but we don't mind. We will see who will we face, and then we will prepare for them like every other team, and we're just gonna...
Okay, well, thank you so much for the interview. Okay. Go get some very well-deserved rest. I'm glad you guys are through, and we'll see you later this week.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Lovely. Thank you guys as well for tuning in. But we're going to do a little bit of a recap in terms of what we have seen today. We're going to be starting off with Group A. That's the group that we have just seen compete. MnM have made it out, and they're now in the lower finals. Sandbox and Falcons are going to be fighting it out for whoever qualifies first to go on to phase 2. Group D, that was the first group that we have seen compete today, and W7M are up against Wolves, Team Bliss against Donuts Barrel, and with that, Team Bliss have unfortunately been sent home on their first day of the competition. Group B, we've seen it yesterday, but just a little jogging for your memory. Nip up against 6 Karma, with 6 Karma coming out on top with a dominant performance up against Space Station Gaming, who took on Elevate. Elevate sent home up against that rematch on Nip. That best of 3 did not go their way. And Group C, the final group, we've seen that one yesterday as well, but this is just going to further highlight that APAC teams have not really had a lot of success, unfortunately, so far in this phase 1. Reven up against Sonics. We're going to be looking at that best of 1 very soon. And Northeption, I mean, they're going in that lower finals. It's going to be best of 3 from whoever is going to be losing from Reven up against Sonics. Now, if that was a little confusing, I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to pay closer attention next time. But that's it from us for today. We're going to be back tomorrow with 2 best of 1s and 2 best of 3s to see which teams we're going to be sending over to phase 2.
They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it.
Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Don't hang with a who line for nothing. I see that we different, you riding, I double. I don't do discussions on bragging about hundreds. Don't go to your places, I know that they sunken. Don't call me your brother, I barely could trust you. I talked to a shorty, she bagging the bugging. And I'ma need all of my dollars on corporate, so hand me the money, I divvy the pie. I'ma give all of my people a portion to build them a fortune. I'm flipping the ride. I can't be mixy when iffy the vibe. And 40 on 50 is really the time. Why are you all on my phone like you want me? Like you wasn't pushing the kid to the side.
I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling.
When you have two teams from the same region going up against one another, you're best friends. But in the server, you want that win. You want it so bad. Our two Brazilian teams in the grand final for the first time ever. Ninjas and pajamas!
Some tournaments you have a better feeling about winning, and that one, it was ours.
Our second Brazilian team, Team Liquid!
NIP was very well prepared. They were like top 1 team in Brazil.
It goes to Brazil no matter who wins it, but for NIP, it means a lot.
We lost to SSG a year before, and then we knew like in our hearts that this invitation we need to win, you know.
It was a very difficult time for us as a team.
It was pretty hard, like especially because of what happened to me at the moment. Like I lost my dad during the competition.
In that final, I think Liquid kind of won people's hearts because of the tragedy that had happened, but because they had also played incredibly well throughout the tournament and through the grand final. They gave us an incredibly entertaining game.
Psycho goes big with 4 kills to push them over the line on Cafe, and that is going to be NIP 2-0 on maps. There you go, the kill comes in. He knew exactly where the man was coming from, and that's going to be Team Liquid taking our second map of Chalet. Palu, 1 second left to go. Diffuser goes down in the absolute nick of time, but Moringa, he gets a huge kill, Des! He gets a huge kill! We're going all the way to 5. We're going to find out who really is the best in Brazil. Palu cannot find the kill. Out comes the Nitro. Shot out by Pino. That is the round in 2020. Brazilian hearts were broken, but like a phoenix, NIP rise from the ashes to claim the hammer at the 6th Invitational 2021.
It was one of the best days of my life. I think we can compare that as a Brazilian team winning the World Football Cup.
I think winning the 6th Invitational was the best feeling ever I had.
Was the best moment of my life in the sports scene for sure. I was crying a lot. I was out of control.
We were very sad to lose, but we understood the limits of the team at the time, and we were very proud. But also, it was very nice to see another Brazilian get a title.
After that SI, like I think it was a motivated thing to grow as a region and make it through a lot of other tournaments.
At the end of the day, everyone is just friendly. So yeah, we have a very nice relationship.
The friendships run deep, and it goes beyond shouting and cheering on stage. You know, all of that is part and parcel of this. It's a respect that is given and earned between these players.
It's an awesome feeling for everyone, you know, not just us. We win for everyone.